सर बिल्कुल।
Okay, sir. Okay. So,
Namaste everybody.
sir,
My
let
name
me
is
let me give your introduction, sir. First, thank you. थैंक यू सर। तो रामानुजन महाविद्यालय और सेंटर फॉर ह्यूमन साइंसेज ऋषिहुड यूनिवर्सिटी के संयुक्त तत्वाधान में विश्वविद्यालय अनुदान आयोग मालवीय मिशन शिक्षक प्रशिक्षण कार्यक्रम द्वारा आयोजित श्रीमद् भगवद गीता पर 2 सप्ताह के इस ऑनलाइन प्रशिक्षण कार्यक्रम में चौथे दिन के दूसरे सत्र में आप सभी प्रतिभागियों का हार्दिक स्वागत है। आज हमारे बीच इस विषय को लेने के लिए, इस पर अपनी बात रखने के लिए आदरणीय श्रीमान शशिकांत जोशी जी हमारे बीच उपस्थित हैं। आप एक प्रसिद्ध लेखक, वक्ता और शिक्षक हैं। प्राचीन संस्कृत ज्ञान को आधुनिक जीवन में और विज्ञान में कैसे उपयोगी बनाया जाए, इस विषय पर आप विशेषज्ञता रखते हैं। आपने आईआईटी खड़गपुर से बीटेक किया और आफ्टर दैट यू हैव कंप्लीटेड योर एमएस फ्रॉम मिनेसोटा यूनिवर्सिटी। आपने प्रैक्टिकल संस्कृत .com एक संस्था बनाई है जहां आप व्यवहारिक अंतर्दृष्टि द्वारा संस्कृत शिक्षा प्रदान करने में अग्रणी हैं। आपके व्याख्यान प्रतिष्ठित संस्थानों जैसे फिडेलिटी इन्वेस्टमेंट, फोर्टिस हॉस्पिटल्स, इंडियन रेलवे, आईआईटी खड़गपुर और आईआईएम बैंगलोर जैसे रेप्यूटेड प्लेसेस पर आप अपने व्याख्यान दे चुके हैं। आपके कुछ वेबिनार और वर्कशॉप बहुत ही लोकप्रिय हैं, जिनमें युगों के माध्यम से नेतृत्व और सो यू थिंक यू नो योर वाल्मीकि रामायण काफी लोकप्रिय हैं। तो आप विभिन्न माध्यमों से संस्कृत को सीखने के लिए विभिन्न मॉड्यूल्स और प्लेटफॉर्म को भी डेवलप कर चुके हैं और वर्तमान में जो लर्नर्स हैं, जो अध्येता हैं, जो संस्कृत ज्ञान इजिली सीखें, इस दिशा में आप निरंतर सक्रिय हैं। तो सर, मैं बहुत अधिक समय ना लेते हुए प्लेटफॉर्म आपको देता हूं और हम भी उत्सुक हैं आपको सुनने के लिए। गीता का जो ये कर्म योग है, इस विषय पर आपकी जानकारी निसंदेह हमारे लिए बहुत उपयोगी होगी। इसी आशा के साथ ये प्लेटफॉर्म मैं आपको देता हूं सर। धन्यवाद सर।
Namaskar Shailendra ji and everybody. So today is 11th February. We are going to do Karma Yoga part 2. Yatra Yogeshwarah Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanurdharah Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Patir Mama. इसी के साथ हम ये सत्र शुरू करते हैं कि जहाँ पर गाइड हो आपका कृष्ण जैसा और कर्म करने वाला हो पार्थ जैसा, तो वहाँ तो सिद्धि मिलनी ही मिलनी है। तो मैं ये इंग्लिश में रखूंगा ताकि जो लोग बाद में कभी यूट्यूब पर देखें और जो हिंदी फॉलो नहीं करते उन्हें भी लाभ मिल सके। So first of all, I want to thank you to Delhi University, Ramanujan College, Sampanandan Mishra ji, and Lata ji, and all of you who are attending. I still don't know who I am. Introduction होता है, तो who I am तो नहीं पता, अभी चल रही है खोज. But briefly, here is what I have done in this life that is worth sharing here, which Shailenji had already shared. But I did my BTech in Computer Science from IIT Kharagpur, 1990. Masters in Computer Science from University of Minnesota, 1992. And for 2 decades, I worked in the US. Then I returned back in 2007 to India, settled here, and worked about 2 decades here as well. While in US, apart from my regular technical work, I had this, leaning towards Sanskrit. I've been interested in since class 5 when Sanskrit was introduced in school. So in the part time, I started and edited a cultural magazine called Tarang for our local Indian community in Cleveland. I also created an audio CD for children on Hitopadesh, which also gave the important shlokas, not just the stories. I also compiled a Hindu prayer book for our local community because when I went to the temple and everybody was just mumbling or not saying because they were not sure what the shlokas mean, or they were not even sure of the shlokas itself. So I created this Hindu prayer book which had all the shlokas, artis, and everything, and word for word translation and meanings. Upon coming back to India, I started a website called practicalsanskrit.com. It's not a company. Shailendra ji ne company kaha tha. So then I also started a Facebook page because that was what was going on. And there are about 34,000 followers on the Facebook page today. I have a blog, I give talks. I wrote a book called Attitude Shift. After my Facebook page became very popular, I never expected that. I thought only 100 people join, I'll be more than happy. And there were 19,000 people. And that prompted me to write this book called Attitude Shift, Sanskrit Maxims for Contemporary Life and Leadership. where I take one-liner Sanskrit nyayas and say that, what can we do with this today? So a couple of nyayas will come in this session also. Then during COVID, I did a 20 session live webinar. Then last year I did a So You Know Your Valmiki Ramayana, a live webinar for 21 days, going all the way to the temple opening ceremony. In that, I did not cover anything that you already knew. Okay, we have to cover the events. But the main point of doing that webinar was that do you know actually what is there inside the Valmiki Ramayana apart from the stories of the events of this or that? And that wisdom is what actually matters in our lives. Story, though, every movie has a plot and pretty much the same plot as Ramayana. Ordinary person, uh, everything is fine, gets a challenge, and then accepts the challenge, and then has a lot of problems, gets some helps, and then overtakes the villain, and that's the Ram Katha in summary. And every popular story all over the world follows that. Anyway, so the Srimad Bhagavad Gita is the most read, taught, and sought book. It's a summary of all the wisdom of India, the spiritual wisdom that is there. So, what can I add? I am not an academic expert by any standards. I don't have any degree in Sanskrit, but I have, and sometimes I think it helps that if you're, because you're more sincere in your hobby, work we do just because we have to. Sometimes we are more sincere in our hobbies. So anything that is a mistake in this session is purely a shortcoming of my understanding. I do some reading and a lot of mulling, and then try to see where that reading applies in my life, life experience. Because if it is not anubhav, then it is just jnanam bhar hai, kriya vina. So I'll try to keep it short and sweet, practical and engaging. And I'm sure there are, you have attended a lot of Gita, uh, sessions, and by much, much wiser people than me. But I still think and I still hope that you will take some things from this session that you did not know before. Okay? That is my strong belief that you'll find some things here that you did not, think it that way. Now, so let's see. Let's get started. Um, One last thing I want to add. Most of the time, our attitude towards our scriptures, our epics, Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, any of them, is that we worship them. Oh, it's so great, it's so good, we worship them, but we have stopped learning or implementing their wisdom. That is what is stopping us from being the Vishwaguru or whatever the cliche you want to say. It is the main reason. We have stopped looking inside. We've got a wonderful treasure chest. We are happy to look at the beautiful treasure chest, but we are never opening it and looking at it through what we have. So hopefully we'll do that. I want to cover some key terms, just two of them, but very important. One is dharma. And whenever there's something important, you will see this important this thing blinking on there. So dharma is not religion. Religion, as we call today, is just a pantha. That means one person's path, right? That is not what is dharma. Dharyati iti dharma, that which upholds something. And now dharma in Sanskrit does not apply only to human beings. It is the main characteristic of a thing entity that upholds and defines that thing. For example, even water has dharma. Fire, teacher, student, king, everybody have their dharma. So the dharma of water is to flow. If it freezes, then we call it ice. If it vaporizes, then we call it vapor. We don't call it water anymore, right? Fire, if it doesn't burn you, then it is not called fire. It might be just light, but it is not fire, right? A teacher who does not teach is just a person taking salary under the role of teacher, but he's not a teacher. He's just a title and taking salary. A student who does not study may be enrolled in a school, but is not a student. And somebody who is not attending school but learning in life and everything, he's or she is a student. So, what is the dharma of a society? What will uphold a society is what we have to really think. So what do we say, where do we want to move to, which place? Or shall we go to that city or that state or that country? People move to different countries also, right? What is the motive behind that? So Hitopadesh has very wonderful niti shlokas on that, but I'll keep it short because we have a lot of Gita to cover. So we want in the society, first and foremost, there should be law and order, there should be some ethics, people should be helping each other. So if you just go to the road and flag an auto that's saying, "Hey, I want to take an auto," and the auto guy just doesn't even stop or says, "I don't want to go," you will say, "What is this city? What is happening?" So the dharma of the society is not being upheld because that guy said, "I will drive an auto. Here I am," but he's not doing his job. So a teacher comes to the class but does not teach properly, or does not teach, gives half of the class time break. Okay, go play games. Now, that is not a good teacher. When everybody does like this with their job, then the dharma of the society is in danger. And that is when we say, what is this society? And we know very well for the 70, 80 years in India. So I don't need to say that. But every society, this does not apply just to India. So it is the law and order, the ethics, and the willingness of people to help each other. Yes, they will take fees. The auto driver will not do it for free. The restaurant will not give you free food, but at least will give you the food, right? So in our Shastras, there is a whole text class of text called Dharma Shastra. We think they're religious books. They're not. They are law and order. They're like a constitution and legal and penal code and like that. This is a crime. This is a punishment. How should each role in the society behave? What is the responsibilities and rights like that? So I like to call it the great balance that a society seeks whenever there's a chaos, whenever there's a government toppled, whenever there's a army coup. Everybody wants to come back to normalcy. We can say that a society is civil, only then I will live, right? Otherwise, it's jungle raj. So we know what is the dharma of the society, law and order. Right? Now, the other word is yajna. In North and in Hindi, they will say yajna. So that is just a variation, this thing. So we'll not be picky about that. I'll try to say yajna. If it is yajna also, that's fine. So what we think normally is that there's a big fire, there's an altar vedi, and then there's a fire, then there's a priest, and there's pouring ghee and swaha, this, that, and all, and that is a yajna. That is just the ritual part of it. That does not define a yajna, because we never have just a fire burned and yajna. No, we always have a yajna for what? Ashwamedha yajna, Putreshti yajna. There's a purpose towards a yajna. Now, there is also called a dravya yajna, tapo yajna, yoga yajna, jnana yajna. For chapter 4, 20th shlok, Gita itself says, which means that yajna is not just the fire ritual. You can do it without the fire ritual also. What is that yajna? You say tapo yajna. What is tapa? What is tapasya in practical terms? I will always go for the practical terms because there are much better shastrajñas who can give all the other things. But what does a common person do with all this terminology and all this gyan? So tapo yajna, tapas is you have set for a goal. From here to certain city you want to go, or you want to sit for an exam and pass that, or whatever that goal might be. You want to get this job or whatever. On that journey, you are not going to seek comfort. You are not going to avoid discomfort. That is tapas. Okay, you will not like the discomfort. You're not seeking discomfort. You're not saying, "Oh, there's a comfort. No, no, I'll not take it. Oh, there's a bed. No, no, I'll sleep on the floor. There's AC car. No, no, I'll just walk on." That is not tapas. But if there is no AC car, there's an ordinary auto only. You'll say, "Okay, fine, I'll go there. My purpose is to go there. If AC car, fine. If not a AC car, I'll go." So tapas. So you could be doing that tapo yajna every day without the fire ritual, right? Jnana yajna, some people are saying that, okay, all the people who are doing research, they are doing jnana yajna, right? So yajna is, in my opinion, represents any conscious action done with the spirit of offering. Offering for what? For the greater good. So all the people in the society will get benefited by what I am doing. That is my yajna. That is my tapo yajna, dravya yajna. Dravya yajna could be that, you donate something, right? Jnana yajna, yoga yajna, any of these are yajna. So today's session is Karma Yoga Part 2, duty, responsibility and service, Karma Yoga for personal life and professional life. So we'll try to do some justice to all these 5 topics, but the core of Karma Yoga, which will applicable here, the theory is one, and then we'll see the applications to individual this thing. Now, before we go into those 5 topics, I want to present some of the main ideas of Karma Yoga. I understand that in the previous session also some ideas might have been done, but it is very important that we cover these ideas. Only then we will be able to understand the application of Karma Yoga. and we will see that there is no mystery. There is a lot of times we think that, our Shastras are very mysterious. You need to have a guru. Yeah, you need to have a guru, but without that, nothing will happen. And with that, everything will happen. The mystery is because we have not had the background training to approach these texts. That is why they all look mysterious and all. And a couple of the mysterious things will come in this session also. Let's see. So the first one is, can we be without doing karma? Is it possible to not do karma? A lot of thing is there, karma will bring phala and all. Phala and karmanyevAdhikArasteshu says, don't be the agent of phala also. Don't, what we call, don't desire the phala, don't be the agent for phala, and all these things. So you say, okay, fine, I'll just not do karma. Let me just do that. I'll no karma and no problem. It's just end of story. So, nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarmakrit karyate hi avashah karma sarva prakriti jahi gunaihi. It is not possible for you to sit without doing anything. Now, we are not talking about, hey, I'm sleeping, I'm not doing anything. So then also you're sleeping, you're snoring, you're breathing, something is happening. But when we talk about karma at a level of Gita, we are talking about major projects that you do in life, like spanning decades or a year, a month, or on a daily basis, some activity that you're doing. You take a bath, you cook, you go to do work, and all these things, they are also under karma. So, apart from 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, even zero is a number in our Indian this thing. We have said zero is also a number. So nothing is also a number in our philosophy. And India has given the ideas like zero and infinity. That also 5 types of infinity. So coming from there, it is not surprising that they say that even when you choose to do nothing, you are still doing. Even nothing is something, right? So doing nothing is also actually doing, because when you're saying, what are you doing? Well, I'm doing nothing. That means you are doing, right? So what is the path for skillful action? Now we have seen that action is inevitable. Karm to hoga, right? Even if you do gyan or bhakti, that's a beautiful thing. Even if you choose, oh, I'm not a thing, I'm a bhakti yogi, I'm a bhakti marg, I'm a gyan, you are doing karma, because that the way you choose to do the karma is different, but it is a karma. To do bhakti or not to do bhakti, to follow gyan or not to follow gyan. Not necessarily everybody has that much of mental capacity to follow jnana yoga, which might be, requiring a lot of mental aptitude and all. And maybe somebody is not that emotional that, they do bhakti really from the heart and all. They might sit for the puja, but okay, fine, let me do work and whatever. So no matter which one you do, karma is not something you can escape. Okay. Now the critical choice is not about whether you want to do karma or not. That you can't escape. The critical choice is how should you do the karma, right? Now, is karma merely a means to an end? So, for example, you are going from point A to point B. Suppose you are going from Agra to Delhi, or Delhi to Chennai on a road trip. Suppose road trip, right? Not a flight. So you say, okay, wake me up when we come to Agra. You start from Delhi and you say, wake me up when you get to Agra. You miss the whole journey. You say, no, it's destination is more important. But what if you enjoyed the journey also properly? What if you made sure that even the journey was enjoyable, even the journey was meaningful, right? So, similarly, when you have to do karma, is it just like, okay, fine, I'm teaching or I'm doing my job just because it pays me salary? Yeah, it pays you salary because the karma will have phala, right? But if you have to do, why not do it properly? Why not do it nicely? Why not do a good job of it, right? Why not make the journey itself as important as the destination? Right? Why not make the karma itself the spiritual practice, rather than saying, oh, let me just earn some money and then when I retire at 60, 70 or something, then I will listen to some Swamiji or Babaji and then I'll do some charity and all. Life is gone. You have no option left that time, right? So it is not just the destination. There is a saying that, it is the journey that is more important, because you might not reach your destination, right? So enjoy every moment. Take every moment to be a tapasya, a karma yoga, and anything you do will come out good. That is a beauty. It's not what you do, it's how you do that matters. Because if you do things good, even if you're folding clothes, laundry, you'll fold them nicely. Even if you're making food, you'll make a wonderful food. Even if you're teaching, or if you're in ISRO or whatever you do, It is your attitude towards doing that matters. And because everybody is connected, all the karmas of all the people are connected, because you do something, somebody else also gets benefited. They do something, you get benefited. Every day we use the services of other people. So in the society, so everything is connected. And it's not about doing less or caring less. That's very important. Somebody might say, oh, if I do karma, I'll get phala, so let me do less, or let me not care. That is not karma yoga. Not caring is not karma yoga. Right? Now the next one is also a very important one, and I can at least I checked everywhere and I could not find this the correct one. So that there is no right on the fruits. KarmanyevAdhikArasteshu ma phaleshu kadachana. Ma karma phala heturubhu ma te sangostva akarmani. The way the translation is done is that your right is for action alone, never for the results. Now, who would want this philosophy? Anybody, honest to God, you have to say, honest to Krishna, you have to say, would you want to work for no salary? That also maybe not 40 hours, maybe 70 hours, maybe 90 hours. Nowadays people are saying work 90 hours. So would you want to work even 40 hours without a salary? Why would you? Right? And if it was that easy that there is no, you don't have a right on the results, that would be such a wonderful thing, right? Now, every English translation I have seen, print or internet, everywhere the adhikar word is translated as right. Okay. Now, this is the problem, that adhikar is not right. Because if it was right, and you can simply say that, okay, I don't have a right on the thing, you could do crime and then say, hey, why punishment? I don't have the rights on the phala. Or you take medicine and you will not get the benefit of the medicine. So what is the point of doing any karma if there is no phala? Right? So this is the incorrect translation of this. Please always remember this. You cannot escape the phala. That is the problem. Phala will come. And spiritually, that is the biggest problem. So the right translation of adhikar is control. You have no control on the fruits. Right? So you're right. No, that is not the correct. Your control is on the action only, never on the results. Now, why we can say this? This is the correct translation. But why can we say this, that this is the right translation? Everybody is missing it. Nobody misses this in the Hindi or in the Indian language. They will miss it in the English, because somebody said, Swatantrata mera janm siddh adhikar hai. So adhikar means right, and everywhere adhikar means right, but that is wrong. That is not right. Adhikar is control because it comes from adhikrita. Adhi is under, krita is taken, done. So undertaken. So I have taken, I have seized. And we have words like adhikrita, adhikari, adhikar kshetra. So a government official is a sarkari adhikari, right? So he's not talking about right. He's saying I have the control over this jurisdiction, right? Like that. So you can only control what karma to do. The phal will come, and that is the problem statement in spirituality. That the phala attaches to you because you desire it, and that is where all the problem comes. So you cannot avoid the fruits of the action. If you sow a seed and the seed is good, there will be some fruits also from the tree. If the seed is not good, the tree will not come. You will water it, you will waste that. That also is possible. So you do karma with not proper karma. You don't get the proper results. You get wrong results, less results, whatever. Right? But whatever you do, correspondingly, you will get the results. Now, think about a skilled musician. A skilled musician practices a lot. This is Pandit Ustad Zakir Hussain. May Sadgati mile unko. Last year he passed away. So a classical musician like him, or Pandit Jasraj, or anyone, Shiv Kumar Sharma, Hariprasad Chaurasia, they practice so much that the music becomes part of them, right? When they start playing on the stage, maybe the first time they did, they might have felt, oh, will it be good or not? Will the audience like it or not? And things like that. But once you, I hope everybody of you have at least attended one live concert of Ustad Zakir Hussain. for Pandit Shivkumar Sharma and all, you can see the joy on their faces when they are creating the music live. That's a beautiful part about the stage live performance. It is the creative process happening in front of you. Creation is happening right in front of you. Okay. So they don't worry about it. They have practiced, they have done their karma. They know, okay, this is the best I can do. And whatever happens, happens. They are free from the worry of the phala. And that is why they perform so joyfully that you feel the joy, right? The difference between attachment to result and awareness of result is very important. Okay, there is a difference. You have to be aware of the results. If you're a surgeon and you're operating, you need to know what to cut and where to attach something or what to cauterize or whatever to do. You need to know that, because only then the desired result will come, but you don't be attached. So we'll also see later, sometimes you do your best and still, it doesn't work out. Then what do? You say, okay, fine, I learned my lessons and I'll do better next time. So work becomes worship. If you do it that with this attitude that I'll just focus on the work, then work becomes worship. Every action can become an offering, right? To the whole, to the society, to the Paramatma, whatever you want to call it. Now, work is worship has been also popularized by Mahatma Gandhi. He was merely reminding us of this key point of Karma Yoga. And most of us, we don't believe in it very strongly, right? We don't believe, work is worship. What worship? The main reason we don't believe in this are two. Traditionally, we consider worship means आरती का थाली लेके आओ, घंटी बजाओ, अगरबत्ती and all. That is worship, right? So you come to work, you open your laptop, you do aarti, and then work is worship is done. And then you don't care about, how good you or honestly or sincerely you do your work. That is not what it is. And the other one is progressively, we consider, oh, this is all some religious mumbo jumbo superstition and all. There's nothing good in it. Forget about all these things. But if everybody approaches their work with this mindset that work is worship, if I am going to work, let me do a good job. Otherwise, quit the job. No, don't do. Let somebody else do. So, if everybody were to do this, or even 10% more start doing this, we can start on the path of Vishwaguru. Otherwise, very difficult. Now, the next idea, which is also very important, to see a karma in karma. कर्मणि अकर्म यह पश्येत अकर्मणि च कर्म यह सह बुद्धिमान मनुष्येषु सह युक्तः कृत्स्न कर्म कृत. So it says कर्मणि अकर्म यह पश्येत. One who sees karma in अकर्म, right? कर्म में अकर्म देखता है. So what does it mean? Is it just some Zen kind of riddle, and the guru will say, okay, think on this and come back in 6 months, or when you find it, and then you just keep on thinking, what does it mean? What does it mean? It's not that. It is very, very straightforward, simple explanation. Being unattached in karma, that is the thing. So its fruit does not cause attachment. So you do the karma with a mindset that its fruit is not going to come attached to you, because if it doesn't attach to you, then it will be like, hey, I didn't even do it. Somebody else did it. For example, somebody else sits in an exam and passes that and gets a job. You didn't even do it. So that phala of that karma doesn't even come to you. So in that particular karma, it was a karma for you. Hey, I didn't even do anything. So I was not even worried about, oh, that person is going to sit in the exam. For example, all of you, unless your children are sitting for some college exams this year, you have no worry what is happening in NEET or JEE Mains or JEE Advanced or BITSAT or whatever. Okay, fine. Who cares? Because it is not your karma. You just don't even care. Paper leak. Okay. Well, okay. That's a different story. You guys are all are professors, academicians. I should take that back. But any karma that you are not, directly involved, you would say, whatever. So when you do your karma, which you are responsible for, you are bound to do it. That also you do with an attitude that I will do my best. Whatever that happens after that, there is no control because I already did my best. So that phala will not attach to you. So even though you do the karma, it will be like a karma to you. Phala will come. Those who have to get benefited will get benefited. Okay? Those who have to get benefited, they will get benefited. You will not worry. That is the main thing. For example, and here is an example. So, a diabetic person, suppose some guests are coming, and your wife says, go to the sweet shop and get one box of gulab jamun, one box of jalebi, one box of this and all. You have been diabetic for, say, 10 years or 15 years. You have not been allowed to eat sweets. You have accepted, okay, sweets are not for me. Maybe children are asking for it, whatever. You go to the sweet shop, you will find the best rasgullas, best gulab jamuns, best jalebi, even though you can't eat it. Guests are coming. So when you did this karma, its phal did not come to you. Yet you did the karma very well. You did not slack on it. You didn't say, give whatever it is now. Who cares? जो भी कुछ डालना डाल दो, देखी जाएगी. It's a different story that your wife told you. So you have to make sure the karma is done properly. But you get the example, the message here. So do your karma in a way that it does not attach to you. Now, how do we get no attachment? No ego, no desire, then there will be no attachment. Because the desire is to the phal, ego is that I am the doer. So that ego can also come, and both of these will, any of these will give you attachment. न माम कर्माणि लिम्पन्ति न मे कर्म फले स्पृहा इति माम यो अभिजानाति कर्म भी न स बध्यते. So Krishna is saying that the karmani, they don't limpanti matlab, embrace, hug or cover, taint. So the actions don't taint me, and na me karma phale spriha, and I have no desire for the karma phala. Right? Now imagine that after creating the whole creation, Krishna or Paramatma, we can say, because each avatar will be called the Paramatma only, has no desire for the fruits. So the creator creates the entire creation. We do some small thing, we write a book and we think we are the greatest person. I get invited to Delhi University, one module, I think, oh, I'm so important, Delhi University invited me, right? Here Krishna or the Paramatma, whichever way, there's no difference, has created the whole universe, has no attachment, and is not even desirous of the fruits. That is how you do. There's one other implication from this, that Paramatma, another name you can say is nature, Prakriti. I mean, I'm not splitting here in philosophical sense, but nobody can perceive Paramatma because by the very definition it is beyond any perceptions. So how do you perceive? By the effects. What is the effect? The creation, the nature including the entire universe. Or you can say, how do you know nature? Is Vijnana, science. So Paramatma, nature and science are impartial. They don't care. They don't favor. You will get the phal of your karma. Physics, you jump off the balcony, you're not going to fly. Even Batman cannot do that. They might say it. Gravity will take you down, no matter small or big or heavy or whatever. So in that sense, and there's a wonderful story about Vishnu ji in Vaikuntha. So when the Rishi Kumaras, they go to visit him, his Dwarpala Jaya and Vijay, they don't allow them because these Rishi Kumar are little, some 5, 7, 8 year old boys, no clothes also, completely naked. So they say, what is this? This is not some playground. Go, go, go. So these Rishi Kumars are shocked. Vaikuntha means without kuntha. There is no frustration. That means all your desires are fulfilled or all your desires are over. So there is no kuntha is Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is not a particular loka somewhere else. It's a mental state where there is no kuntha, no frustration. So there's no anger. Anger comes because frustration. Frustration comes because you want something, there's an obstacle, so you get angry. That's the sequence, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mad, matsara. So they get very angry and they say that, people, after so many births by chance and by hard work and all, people come to Vaikuntha. You are here, you should be the example of the best, whatever, and this is how you behave. You need to go to Mrityulok. This is the shrap that the Rishi Kumar has given. Vishnuji is sitting inside and hears this commotion, comes running out, what happened and all, sees that both these Dwarpala are shaking and Rishi Kumars have given the shrap, and then comes to know. Then what does Vishnuji say to Sanat Kumar? He says, these Dwarpals of mine, They did their karma and they got the shrap as the phala. Even I cannot change that. Okay, Vishnuji himself saying, I cannot change karma phala laws, but they are very dear to me. So can you do something that they come back quickly? That's all he can ask for. He cannot ask for the cancellation of the transfer. He just says, "Can you make sure they come back to this station faster?" And then obviously they say that they will be doing so much of papa that you only will have to go down and kill them, and then because of that they will come back to Vaikuntha again. So that is how the Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu and Ravan and Kumbhakaran and Kans and Shishupal, these three avatars of Jai Vijay happen, whom Vishnu himself in his avatars kills them. So the doership plus desire creates the attachment. Yuktah karma phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti nashtikim. Ayuktah kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. So what is he saying? That only when you desire is when you get uh, attached, right? Bandhan. The person of unsteady mind and desiring heart will surely get bound. Ni badhyate, nishchita badhyate. But the one who is yuktah karam phalam tyaktva, he gets shanti. So when you are not worried about uh, the results and all, it could be anything. Maybe just don't care. Hey, I did my best. Some students will go to exam. Itna hi hua, boss. Whatever. You go. What can you do? Or you do so good. You are so good at your work that you are not even worried because you know, yeah, I can handle it. Or there will be something that you say, hey, if there is something beyond my control that happens, what can you do? Tsunami came. A lot of people in Thailand died, and all over, Andaman Islands and all. Who could have thought? What can you do? Nothing. Those who survived after that also they had to accept it. You can have grudge or whatever, but that's it. So when you don't expect anything, then you have shanti. Now the inner revolution or the change that we need to bring. So we know that action can be binding or liberating. So the action itself is not the problem. It is how you handle it, how you do it, with what mindset you do. That is what will cause the binding or the liberation. Right? Now, if we sometimes think that we are the instruments of a larger purpose, for example, your workplace, your employer sends you out somewhere else as representing. So I don't know which all, where all you work, but assume that your company, and I have been in IT, so I can give you an example of IT. So there is, you go to a college for, recruitment. Now you are representing a team of 5 people goes representing this big company and go to the college. When you have been given this extra duty that you represent the whole company, all of a sudden there is a different sense of purpose. In the company, you might be, behaving like an ordinary guy. You talk bad also sometimes. You whatever you do, but as soon as you're outside, you're like all of a sudden, oh, anything I do is reflecting on me as a company. I am representing the company. All of a sudden you will feel that your efforts, your karma, your way of doing, all of a sudden is of better quality, right? Which means that if we are in a small selfish shell of our own, that's it, me, nothing else, nobody is related, connected, whatever, then our thinking also becomes small. As soon as a greater responsibility is given, then our vision becomes bigger, our karma becomes better, and all obviously as much as we can. So sometimes it's good to take on more responsibility to grow yourself, whether it is at the skill or in life. If you don't take more responsibility, you'll not grow. So they say that get out of your comfort zone. That is what they mean by getting out of your comfort zone, is that do something you have not done before. That's the only way you will grow, whether it is spiritually or this thing. So don't see duty as a burden imposed from outside. You chose the job. right? The duties will come with the job, with the role. So it is not imposed on what you chose it, knowing well what it takes to do the job. So duty should never be taken as burden. You should always be happy. Every day you should get up and say, oh, today I'm alive. I can work. Oh, such a wonderful day. Instead of, oh my God, again I have to go. Hello, you can leave your job anytime. Nobody is forcing. It's all in our attitude. How should we handle both? Sometimes you'll succeed, sometimes you'll fail. So the success you should handle with gratitude, not with pride. Because as soon as pride comes, your thinking will stop. You can't think properly. You'll make mistakes. You will piss off people. All these things will happen. And failure, you should always take as feedback. Feedback of what? That what you did, there had some shortcoming. Maybe you forgot this. Maybe you forgot that. Maybe you didn't inform this guy. Maybe whatever. You are organizing a party of 50 people. Only 30 landed up, and then you later find out, oh, I told that guy to call five, this guy to call five, but I never reminded him to call five. So only 30 people showed up. So the party is not as great as it was supposed to be. Where was the failure? Oh, I should send a reminder next time. So next party, you make sure you do that. So failure should be taken as a feedback. Now, the true excellence in your job, whatever it is, comes when you are completely absorbed in the job. And this happens to anybody in doing any job. You watch, you can go on YouTube if you have not seen before, pick up any concert of Shiv Kumar Sharma or Zakir Hussain, Pandit Chaurasia ji, or anybody. After some time, you will see that the music is full speed and it's out of the world music going on. You look at their faces. They don't care about the audience after some time. They don't even know audience is there. They are just looking at each other and just, in ecstasy of this wonderful music going on. They're completely absorbed in the action, right? A mother who's cooking food for her children, she is completely absorbed. She has to make the best food, right? Completely absorbed. Full joy also is received from that action. There is a nyaya called Ishukara Nyaya. So it comes in Bhagavad-Puran, and Avadhut is telling King Janak that I have 28 gurus. I have learnt from 28 gurus. So long story short, so one of them was Ishukar. So other people that he learned from is the Bhavara, bumblebee, the pigeon, the Ajgar, all these things he says. And one of them is Ishukara Nyaya. So it's called Ishukar Nyaya. What is the thing? He says there was Ishukar is a arrow maker. Ishu is arrow, and Ashukar is one who makes the arrow. And this is those times, right? The arrow was the missile of today, bullet or whatever. So, and it was not easy to make an arrow that will go straight and all. So it was a very focused work. So the Ishukar was making the arrow, and the king's procession with the elephant, the nagaras, and everything passed by. And somebody asked, "Did you see that procession?" He said, "What? What procession?" So can you imagine the pomp and show that the king's procession will have, and this guy didn't even notice it? That is the Ishukar Nyaya, right? You have to be focused like the Ishukar, the arrow maker. And no sincere effort is ever wasted. This is beautifully explained by Krishna. So Arjun asks Krishna in, I think, second chapter, uh, I think 40th, yeah, yeah. So Krishna is giving all the Jnana Yoga funda, and Arjun listens to everything. It is just his first lecture, first class, so he's not got everything. So he says, you say about controlling the man as if it is easy. It is as difficult as controlling the wind. And he says, okay, those who have started, they say, okay, fine, I'm sincere of my effort. I will do this. And then somewhere or the other, they are not able to control their manas. There's a slip. So you say, okay, I will stop eating sweets. You stop, and then one day in a week, you just eat one sweet. So the question is, what happens to their failed attempts? Prize. So a person starts sincerely, then there is a slip, or maybe he is not disciplined enough. She is not able to control the manas enough, and some failure happens. Do their efforts get wasted, shattered like the clouds shattered by the wind? Is the question Arjun asks. And Krishna says, no. each action becomes part of our evolution, each challenge an opportunity for deeper learning. Nothing is wasted. He gives an example of multiple janma and all that. Whatever sadhana you could do this janma, you will get a better opportunity next janma. You will get into a better yogic family. You will be born and all. I I would stick to the practical aspects of it. In this life, when you are doing karma, you failed first time. Is it all wasted? No. There's a beautiful saying: when you lose, do not lose the lesson. Think about it. When you lose, don't lose the lesson. What did I do wrong? Where did I miss? Where was the shortcoming? How could I have done it better? So, no sincere effort is ever wasted. Whatever progress you make, you are that many steps closer, right? So, never think that, oh, I can't do this, this is too much. Start one step, two step, five step, something. I just want to take a quick feedback. How is this going? I mean, I'm just talking. Can somebody by thumbs up or reaction or something is there? Can I get some reactions? How is it going so far? Or in the chat, if somebody can type, so I know that at least people are listening or not or whatever. Because this is the problem with the online thing. You never know who is listening or not, or what's the reaction. Are people bored?
We are all listening, sir. Very interesting topic.
Okay. And I think people don't have a choice, but I hope it is interesting and makes your time worth it. The artificial divide between spiritual practice and daily life dissolves when you change your mindset. Nothing is boredom. Nothing is, uh, a burden, right? And you don't have to do spirituality separately. That's the beauty of it. If you do your job, whatever it is, the Nagarpalika worker who sweeps the roads, that is also a job. Somebody is sitting as CEO of a company, that is also a job. Whatever the job, somebody is cooking in a restaurant, a five-star restaurant or a dhaba, everybody has a job. You do the job as good as you can, and that itself is a satisfaction that, oh, I make the best aloo parathas. That is a satisfaction. Right? So now on the left side, we have a yajna that is happening. Big fire, somebody is pouring the anna and ghee, and the purohit is doing that. On the right side, we have food. Banana leaf. This is a typical, I think, a South Indian dish. I don't know all the exact ones, but rice and sambar and vada and all these things you can see. So this shloka, brahmArpaNam brahmahavihi brahmagnau brahmana hutam brahmaiva tena gantavyam brahma karma samadhina. This is seeing Brahman in all the actions. So this is comparing two things. On the macro level, it is talking about the ladle with which you pour the ghee. The ghee that you pour in the fire itself, and you, all are Brahman. So you are pouring with a ladle the ghee in the fire. All four are Brahman. Guna guneshu vartante. The other one is that you are eating food with your hand and putting it in the fire of digestion in your stomach. That is also offering, right? So here a yajna is happening, a fire ritual is happening, and here eating is happening. Both are the same. Where do you see Brahman in this? The food that you are eating is also, some point of time it was a life form, but life eats life. That is there. What can you do? You think that you are eating in a silver plate, the best of the sweets, and all the other guys just eating dal chawal in a steel plate or aluminum plate or just a bowl or whatever. That is the problem. You think you are great because you are eating in a silver platter on a big dining table and all. That makes you special. No, that does not make you special. Because ultimately food purpose is to give you nourishment. And just because you have a big dining table and a silver plate, you can't eat 50 kgs of food at a time. You can't eat 100 gulab jamun just because you are rich. Ultimately, it is that only. So when you start seeing that food is not my status symbol, it is for me to be healthy and be productive. When you do everything like that, every activity becomes a yajna. That feeling of the ego goes away. You are more focused on the working than the results and your status and what people will think and all that stuff. So start seeing Brahman in all the action. Every action, however small, can be transformed through the right attention attitude. That is what this shloka is saying. Even the simple activity of eating can be transformed into a spiritual activity. So, by the way, this is one of the shlok also people recite before eating. And the other one is Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashritah Pranapan Samayukta Pachamyannam Chaturvidham. Which means that I, being the Vaishvanar of fire, supported by Pran and Apan, well established in all life forms, all beings, not just humans, I digest four types of food. What is very important here is he says Pran and Apan, Pranavayu and Apanvayu. So breathing, which is taking the oxygen, food is important, but breathing is even more important. And Apan, which is excretion. Every life form has this. You take and you give, right? So no life is can survive without that. Now the quality of our attention itself will start changing. And I hope that this lesson, I know that there are a lot of them, 18 to 20 sessions, and I'm just one of that. But I hope that you find some things in my session which you can start implementing, even if it is little, right? Everyday life, little bit, little bit. So what happens? The quality of our attention itself changes. What does it mean by that? Where is our attention? ओह! कल तो ऐसे हो गया था, पिछले साल तो ये हुआ था, last year he said that and all. We are regretting or we are enjoying or we are getting angry about things in the past. Or we are worrying about the future. Oh, if I get transfer, oh, will I get the promotion or will that happen or something, whatever. So future anxieties and past regrets are stealing our present. So your quality of attention is not there. So to make sure that your quality of attention is in the present, don't worry about the past. What has happened has happened. Did you learn? And don't worry about the future because the present is going to be the future. So do the right things in the present. Automatically, future will be fine. And after that, also some problem comes. Well, what could you do? Now, the true leadership becomes service rather than control. So a lot of times, the leader, it doesn't matter how big or small. Even in children's, kids are playing, and that one person is the captain of the cricket team. All of a sudden, the kid thinks, "Oh, I'm the boss of everybody now." So there is a reason why we call civil servant, right? So all the adhikaris are also supposed to serve, right? That's why they are called civil servants. And when they actually start behaving that way, any society will change for good. Uh, there are challenging relationships, and again, if you give it a pause and think how you are reacting, how you are acting, are you doing it out of understanding, or are you just reacting? For example, if you are with somebody, could be your spouse or children or whatever, and you feel angry, you have to think, why are you feeling angry? Is it just because you had a bad day at the office? Or if you also get angry, both people are getting angry, then it'll escalate. One can be patient, let the other person speak, get it out of the system, and things will be better. So when your attention is in the present rather than past, oh, last week also he was fighting with me, last month also, maybe there's a problem with the guy. Just sit down and say, what is the problem? Is there something I can help you? Maybe some personal issue or whatever. And that will automatically change the interaction. And obviously, our actions affect the larger whole, meaning like every one of our action in the society, it helps. This is another interesting one, and again I have put a important one, and again in this we will have a different understanding of a very very famous Gita shloka. Buddhi yukto jahati ubhe sukrit dushkrite tasmat yogaya yujyasva yoga karmasu kaushalam. And the normal translation is karmo mein kushalta hi yoga hai. Yoga is skillfulness in action. This is also the motto of IIT Kharagpur, by the way. Yoga hai karmasu kaushalam. My alma mater. I did from IIT Kharagpur, and still uh, everybody gets it wrong. Okay, so this is incorrect. Yoga is excellence in action is not the correct translation of this, and we'll see why. योगस्थ कुरु कर्माणि संगम त्यक्त्वा धनंजय सिद्धि असिद्ध्यो समो भूत्वा samatvam yoga uchyate. This is two shloks before that. Just two shloks before that is being said. That yogastha kuru karmani, be situated in yoga. Yoga mein sthit hokar karm karo. And attachment, sangam tyaktva. And siddhi asiddhi samo bhutva. Success and failure be the same. Why? Samatvam yoga uchyate. Yoga is samatvam. Being same, being equanimous in good and bad, up and down and all. You don't get swayed by that. So if it is success, then you're so happy, or if it is failure, then you're so sad. No, these things will come. Sometimes you'll succeed, sometimes you'll not. So, two shloks before, this is the context. Yogastha kuru karmani, samatvam yoga uchyate. Then how can all of a sudden yoga karmasu kaushalam? So what is the right translation or meaning of that? Buddhi yukto jahati ubhe sukrita dushkrita. This we saw. Yoga hi karmo mein kushalta hai. Among karmas, yoga is the best. That is the right translation. So what does it mean now? How do you say that? That there is a certain mindset that we bring in when we do karma. So even how you are doing, what karma you are doing, that is all is karma. So best karma is do the yoga way. Doesn't matter what you are doing. So it is not saying if you do an excellent job, you have done yoga. But if you're all the time worried about the result, you are attached, you are worried, you are anxious, you couldn't do the job properly. Maybe you could have done it better if you're not, attached to the results. So the yogic way of engaging with samatvam, that is a karma. How you are doing it. So that is the best way of doing karma. Yoga karmasu kaushalam, because yoga karmo mein kushalta hai. That becomes the easy translation. But कर्मों में योग ही कुशलता है. And this is not defining yoga. This is not a definition of yoga. What is yoga? Karmasu kaushalam. That is not it. Because what is yoga? Samatvam yoga uchyate. That was the definition of yoga. So here it is not defining. It is saying therefore and because. So he's saying therefore devote yourself to karma. Tasmat yoga yujyasva. Because yoga is best among karmas. Because yoga hai karmasu kaushalam. That is why yoga yujyasva. Engage with the mindset of yoga. So that is the correct interpretation. Because otherwise, you could do bad karma, right? That also, you do a bad karma beautifully, perfectly you do. Perfect theft, bank heist. All these OTTs have this, robbing a bank. You do perfect when you don't even get caught. Never, ever. Then did you do yoga? Right? And if you do it with desire, or if you do a wrong karma, or if you don't do it with samatvam, that is not a yoga. Right? So this does not mean yoga is excellence in karma. It means among karma, yoga is excellent. So what is the relationship between yoga and action? Yoga is the best among karma. Okay. What makes the yogic approach the best? We are aware of our true relationship with action and its fruits. Okay. That is one important thing. So again, we said it is not that you're not aware of the results. It is that you're not perturbed by the results. You're not afraid of it, or you're not anxious about it. And when the fruits come, because they will, right? You do karma, the phal will come. They don't create a bondage. Because if you have reached a state, I mean, and I'm sure in all of you, in some actions that you do, you have perfected it so well, you know that result will come. कोई टेंशन नहीं है, right? You have perfected that. So, for example, a teacher who has been teaching for say 10 years the same topic for the same class doesn't even need to look at the textbook. They will, in the sleep itself, they can go and start taking the class. They have perfected it so well. So they have no tension, right? There's no bondage. Someday, five people are missing in the class, or say a class of say, for example, 50 students is there. Someday five are absent, someday 10 are absent, something, whatever. Teacher has no problem. He will teach you the same dedication, same ease, same comfort. Nothing is, causing the bondage. Look, hey, today so many didn't come. What is this? No problem. They will not get the attendance. They will have a problem. I will do my class. And then you maintain the highest purpose when you're doing the karma if you do with the yogic mindset. And this is very important in today's world because a lot of people confuse that skill and success. That is it. Spiritual advancement is not that important. That is why millionaires and billionaires are also not happy. Meaning, like inside happiness, a lot of people are finding that people told, okay, make money, and I've made money, and I spent 20 years of my life, but I'm still not happy because the relationships are not there. The something inner meaning is still missing because maybe you didn't do a good job, or maybe you were corrupt, or maybe you took shortcuts, maybe you hurt others, or whatever. You could get money, but not necessarily happiness. So now let's come to the duty, responsibility, accountability. So these are very similar words normally, but there is a difference. So duty is attached with a role and it comes defined like a job description, right? So when you apply for a job, there will be job description. That is the duty of the job. That and it will be well defined and is mandatory. So as a teacher, they will say, okay, this is the subject. These are the classes you'll have to teach. You'll have to minimum teach 5 or 10 classes a week. Minimum 10 classes you have to take. Each class will be 1 hour. This, that, and all whatever. That is the defined job description. That is the duty or dharma that comes with the role. So if you don't take the role, you don't have to do it. So the dharma of the role is attached to the role. What role do you take? Sthanapanne tat dharma labha. This is a very interesting one. Um, and I covered this in the book Attitude Shift also. When you take that position or role, its duties also come with it. Okay? You can't just have the rights and power of the position. You need to do the duties as well. Now, everybody wants to be a doctor, engineer, IS officer, lawyer, or minister, or CEO, or whatever. But these positions are not just for the power and money. They come with the responsibilities of it, right, or the duties of the role. And if you are putting somebody who is not able to, then they will do injustice to that duty. So with great power comes great responsibility. It's a very famous line from Spider-Man. It's actually a line by Voltaire. He's a French thinker. So don't just desire your chair, you should deserve it. Okay. So just because a doctor's job is very reputed, a lot of money and all, I also want to be a doctor, but I got only 2% in the NEET exam, and because of whatever reservation or whatever, you become MBBS and all, but you will not be a good doctor anyway. So duty is that. Responsibility is the ownership of completing a task. That means a task is assigned to you. Now you are responsible for completing it. It's like a kartavya. So there's dharma, which is duty, which is attached to the role. It is not outside the role. Once you take that, then there's a kartavya. There are certain things that come along with it, and it is also how you do it. So if you become a teacher, your dharma as a teacher is to teach, but your kartavya is to teach properly. How you teach comes under the kartavya, which you bring to the table. Okay? So you go to the class, you somehow finish the 1 hour and all everything. You just read the book to the class. You did your duty. That's it. But you didn't do your kartavya. Right? So responsibility is response. Right? It comes from response. Can you respond to the duty given to you? Right? Response ability. That's what is responsibility. and it could be shared by team members. So, in a IT company, there's some softwares to be developed and all. There is a team of 30 people. Everybody is responsible for a smaller task. So it could be shared responsibilities also. Then accountability is, you have to answer for it. Uttardayitva. If it is failed, then you will be asked, not everybody. Right? So if you're responsible, you have to complete the task. But if you're accountable, you have to make sure the task gets completed. So the griha-lakshmi, the mother, the wife, is accountable to make sure dinner is on the table. But one day she can tell her husband, "Oh, today I'm not feeling like cooking, you cook." So husband is responsible for getting the dinner, but wife is accountable for the dinner. Or she could say, let's order today. Not feeling like, we'll order something. So now husband is responsible for opening the app and ordering the pizza or the dal makhani or whatever that is required. But the wife is still accountable. If there's no food and the children start shouting, they will shout at the mother. The mother will shout at the father. I told you, didn't order it. All that stuff. So that is the duty, responsibility, accountability. So duty is kind of the framework. Responsibility is how you engage with it. And accountability or uttardayitva is the real impact of what we did. So how we did it, we have to answer back if the results are not there. So natural role versus forced fit. So Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunah Paradharmat Su Anushtitat Swadharme Nidhanam Shreya Paradharmo Bhayavah. It's a very famous shlok from Bhagavad-Gita, and I think it is very misunderstood. That's why I again put it's important. So the normal way we understand is it's better to do your duty or your dharma, even if it is not done properly, than doing the dharma of somebody else, even if you can do it properly. Now, this does not make any sense. If somebody can do a job properly, why not do it? Right? So you may develop the skills, but not the sustained aptitude. For example, a particular karma, and karma is done mean just one job. Okay, dal mein chhauk lagana. That is just one thing. But if the wife tells husband every day you have to cook dinner, then the husband might say, I am able to cook it once or twice, but I don't have the interest, aptitude, or the ability to keep doing new things every dinner, cook some new stuff. I don't have that aptitude, right? So I'll get disinterested. So one or two times he is able to do it. So what is it meaning? Dharma, when you will see it later also, that you have swa guna. Based on that guna is that inclination, your nivritti. Where are you pravritti? Where are you inclined? So if you have interest in that, you can develop skills. Skill development is not the problem. You don't know cooking, somebody can teach you. You don't know physics, somebody can teach you. You don't know how to repair a car, somebody can teach you. Right? Skill can be acquired with some limitations. But if you don't have the aptitude, you cannot sustain it. That is the thing. So swadharma is what is saying. What is your natural inclination? What is it that you have pravritti for? Go for that role. If you don't know how to do it properly right now, you can be trained for that. That's okay. Maybe right now you know some other thing to do better, but only for short time. Once in a while you do, you say, oh yeah, I'll do it. But if you have to do it every day, then it is a problem. Then it becomes burden because you don't have much interest, right? So for example, I'll give you some examples. So some kids start playing chess. Chess is very this thing. So he's very good at the chess. Sometimes he plays and he wins, but he's not able to go much further because initially, and you just have some students and all, he wins with the friends. So he thinks, oh, I am a chess player. He doesn't know what it takes to be a chess player. How much of brain will be used and how much you'll have to, it's a sadhana. So initially you might be able to do, then you say, oh, I'll just go a professional chess player only I'll do. Not realizing this is not your dharma. You can't even sit in a chair for 30 minutes without moving. How will you sit for 3 hours of a chess competition? Right? So a little bit of success in doing some other job once in a while is not what your dharma, what your pravritti is. So what this says is instead of saying that I can do that job better, can you keep doing that forever as a role? Some people like to teach, actually like to teach. They learn something, they'll share it with others. They'll share it so much, others will say, okay, don't give me any more gyan, go. They are the people who should be teachers, whichever subject they want to pick. So this shlok, which is misunderstood a lot of times, and even good intended people do not get it and then say, what is this? Why are you dividing people and all, whatever? Is there no flexibility in society to change jobs and all? It's not that. It says, pick a job, pick a role based on your pravritti so you can keep on doing it. Once or twice, if you can do a job good, doesn't mean that you can sustain it. There will be another example coming next slide. So now the question comes, and I'm going to touch this because it is important. It might not be directly, in our this thing, but it is to do with karma. So is dharma or the duty by birth, the way we understand it today, is completely wrong, right? So what it says is you are born with some swabhav and guna. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagashah, right? So something you are born with, something you acquire. Nature, nurture, both things. What you're born with, you can't do much control. There's not much control at all. You have to just accept it. You can improve on it, but if you think that you can beat the Kenyans in a marathon, no, their bodies are made that way that every world marathon, every Olympics, the Kenyans and the some other countries in Africa, they all first, second, third, fourth, fifth only they will be there. So they have an advantage on the nature part of it. And based on your swabhav and guna, you decide a role, a karma that you will do in the society. So based on your inclination, your pravritti, you should decide that. Once you pick the role, the dharma of the role comes. And you should be able to sustain fulfilling that dharma for a long time. Otherwise, every week you'll be changing your job. 1 week I'll be teacher, 1 week I'll be a chef, 1 week I'll be this, 1 week I'll be that. Life doesn't work that way. Karma is inevitable. So you choose what you're inclined to, what you have aptitude for, what your ability is for, and what you can do sustained times. Remember, you can always learn a skill. Skill learning is not a problem. But to be able to do it every day happily, there you need the pravritti, the swabhav. Now, we desire the roles and positions because of the money and the fame that is involved in a particular job or particular position, even if you don't deserve it, right? So this is the one of the main crux of karma yoga, that you find your swabhava, then you find the role that suits your swabhava, and then you get the dharma and duty of that particular role. So again, as you mentioned earlier, don't desire your chair, you deserve your chair. Then the question of control comes. So again, we saw that it's not the right, but it is the control that matters. That you can only control the action, you cannot control the results. You have right on both, and we saw that why it is so, because adhikar is control, not this thing. Now, there is also one important, very interesting thing I want to tell you. I think most of you might not know. I'm not saying that, but I did not know. And anybody I've talked to, I did not know before this. So there is a prasanga in Valmiki Ramayana when Rama is getting ready to go to the Vanavasa, and Lakshman comes to his um, palace, and Ram is changing clothes to Valkal. And Lakshman says, what is this? Dashrath is not in his right mind. He's under control of a woman, so he's intoxicated by a woman. So he's not, he doesn't have the rights to be a king anymore because he's incapacitated. And I, will take over Ayodhya by force. And my bow and arrow are not ornaments. And if anybody in Ayodhya opposes, I'll take care of them myself. You sit on the throne. So Ram tells him that no, it's not so. It is the will of daiva that this has happened to me. I was nicer to Kaikeyi than my own mother. Nobody in Ayodhya has talked bad about me. My father, said tomorrow will be today will be the coronation. Everything was done. Everything was announced. Nobody expected, and then still happened. This is daiva. So there, Ram gives a definition of daiva. It is not deva, daiva, right? Of deva. In English, we call it destiny. But destiny doesn't have the nuance of how Rama or Valmiki ji through Rama explains what is daiva. So he says daiva is that which you cannot plan for. Because when you're sitting around to plan, like suppose you're going from one city to another, you're planning. What will we need? Oh, we need some lunch. Then we'll need we'll need some breakfast. We'll need some dinner. We'll need extra clothes. We'll need some towel. We'll need some extra shoes. Everything you're planning. Maybe you also planned. Okay, I will take an umbrella also. Whatever. So there is a planning phase where you are imagining what all you need. So dive is that which you cannot plan for because you can't even think about it. Oh, this will also happen. Can't even think. So there is no way you'll prepare for it. Then there is no sign of it. So, for example, if you start from your house and it is very sunny, and in the weather forecast also it says 5 days no rain, right? And you say, I don't need to take umbrella. I mean, there's no sign of it. You go out and for whatever reason it rains. What can you do? There's no sign. So, daiva is that which you cannot think of beforehand. Foresight is not there. Forewarning is not there. There is no sign of it. And the third one is when it comes, you have no control. So that is daiva. It is actually the X factor. You can't think of it. It does not give any sign. And when it comes, you have no control. So Rama says that, there is no sign of this coming, and that I will be sent to exile because yesterday I was being coronated. I could never imagine that my father would say something like this. And now that he has done it, there is no control because I cannot go against my father's commands. That is beyond my control. So if he said whatever he said, I have to do it. So he said this, so now I'll have to do it. So this is my daiva, right? So this is the X factor. No sign, no foresight, no control. Uh, Quality of engagement, sorry, the question of control we are talking about. So for example, in parents' case, I'm just trying to give some relevant examples. So they can, create a supportive environment for their children. They can provide guidance and boundaries. They can show up consistently show them love and attention and give them values and all that stuff the parent can do. But what the parents cannot control is every choice that the child is going to make. Sometimes the child will make some choices on their own, and you have to let go, right? How their personalities will develop, you can't control that. You try your best. Every parent tries best to mold the child just like them, and the child grows to be something else. And the parent themselves grew differently compared to their parents who wanted, right? So, how much can you control? You have to realize. What can you control? You have to realize, and everything else you have to let go. Or the quality of engagement, right? So, among all the ways of engaging, we saw that you can engage with desire, with emotion, with passion, with enthusiasm. All these things are great. But the best way to engage is Yogah karmasu kaushalam, engaging with yogic equanimity, samatvam. That is the best way to engage. Why? Because ups and downs will come. When I was working, a lot of times I had to hire new developers. I had to interview people, so they will send a resume, and a very top way they will have this objective. A lot of people would have objective to find a exciting, challenging job and do this and that and all. Then first question I would ask them: do you know any job that is exciting all the time? Because your challenging problem is they're writing some code and all. There's some exciting 1 month. And after that, there'll be very boring documentation of what you have done. So you have to write, document, this is the thing I've run, how to use it, this and that. That will not be exciting. So how do you engage? I want challenging job. Any job is not challenging all the time. There'll be times when it's not challenging. So you engage with purpose. That is what Vidur says in Vidur Niti. That engage with purpose. What is the purpose of this action? Once you know that, then even if there's a low time, you will see through it. Then okay, I have a bigger purpose for it. Similarly, when you engage with samatvam, ups and downs will come, but you will survive all the ups and downs, and you will finally do your duties properly. So being same in success and failure, or getting or not getting the fruits, When you do that, that is the samatvam. And again, remember, it is not the lack of awareness to the results. That it's not like you don't even know, you don't even care what you're going to do something. No, you are fully aware of the results, but you are not attached with them. That is the main thing. And how does the understanding develop once we start applying this karma yoga principles? Niyatam sanga rahitam araga dveshtah kritam aphala prepsuna karma yat tat satvikam uchyate. So he's saying, what are the three different types, sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic? There are a lot of things that are categorized that way. There's a dan, there's a karma, there is, food, and all these things are there. So a person who does sattvic karma, a person who has reached that state, doesn't happen immediately. Don't worry, but you have to keep at it. That's all. So niyatam, what has been decided, approved, or commanded by the Shastra and tradition, which means today's term we will say legal. So anything that is legal, you do legal, and what the society needs, you do that. Or the society says, oh, there's a shortage of doctors, then somebody will say, okay, let me go into that. Without pride of doership, that is the biggest problem in all of us, that when we think that, oh, I am so great that I did this, that is the biggest impediment to samatvam. Without liking or disliking. So you don't dislike failure, you don't like success, but if it comes, you're not disturbed. Which means that if you had success, then you're not like jumping in joy and the next job you do bad. Or you become overconfident. Oh, yeah, I can do everything. And I got this award from the president and all. And then your next job goes bad because you think, oh, I've achieved so much. Or if you fail, then you say, I'm not going to do it anymore. No, I'm not good at it. You can get good at it, right? And by the one who does not seek the fruits. So these four things happen when your understanding grows in karma yoga, and it will happen only with time, with consistent effort and patience and things like that. So, for example, someone when they start their job, they might be focused on following the rules, right? The rule book, guidebook, employee handbook, or whatever. They need constant guidance. Like, how do I do this? How do I do that? Because they just started the job. And they feel very anxious. Oh, what will boss say? If I make a mistake, oh my God, what will happen? What will happen? Right? What will my peers say? Oh, itna bhi nahi aata. Right? And then mainly we work for the approval of the boss. Boss said, okay, good job. That's it. Done. But with time, when you have spent 5 years, 10 years in the job, then you start understanding why the procedures matter. So earlier you're just following the rules. But with time, you understand why these rules are made. What is the point of this rule? Right? You understand that. And then you start doing it even better because now you know the purpose of that rule. And then you start taking initiatives, not just waiting for somebody to tell you do this. You after some time you'll say, what else can be done? Oh, I see this. Maybe this can be improved. Then you go and tell your boss, I think this is what we can do. So that is taking initiative on your own, right? Earlier you were afraid of making mistake. After some time, you say, okay, fine, I made a mistake. What's to be learned? How can we do it better next time? And it becomes not a problem, but just a learning step. And then you start finding satisfaction in doing good job rather than just approval. Okay, boss approve kar diya, that's it. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter how the job was or whether you're satisfied or not. There is actually a satisfaction when you do a good job. You're all teachers, so I'm sure you know when some good students get wonderful marks and you top the list or whatever. Sometimes you'll find an answer in the answer sheet that is just like wow. And then you realize that this is your hard work, your good karma that is shining back in the student. And that satisfaction, 30 years later, somebody comes to you and says, sir, ma'am, you taught me in school, you taught me in college, and one day you said something like this, and that changed my life forever. When I was doing my master's in the US in computer science, so when you write the code, you have the actual code that will be checked and corrected by the computer compiler, and you have a section called comments, which the compiler will completely ignore because the comments are for your sake. It's like side notes in the margin. So when I went to the US and I did my first assignment, and that time it was in 1990, so we had to print everything out and do. It was not like today. So I took a printout of my entire code with the actual code and the comments on the side. And I used to make some typing mistakes because type fast, THE becomes TEH or things like that. Very simple typing mistakes. But they were in the comment, so the computer will not even check it. So my teacher circled the first spelling mistake I made. Then next page there was one more small mistake. So then again that circled. Third page there was one more mistake, and immediately there was -2. And I said, "Ma'am, why? This is just in comments. The program runs perfectly. The output is perfect. Everything is perfect. Why do you take numbers?" So you made a spelling mistake. I said, "Ma'am, this is not English class. This is computer class. The code works fine. Why do you take the?" You wrote that comment. That is your karma. You did not pay attention in that. Either you should have not done the comment, but if you typed, you should type properly. And I'm not exaggerating that one comment from 90 after 35 years, I remember it. Anytime I do anything, I remember. Whatever you're doing, you do it properly, otherwise, don't do it. So, one line from her, and I still remember it. So, no, doesn't, you don't know when you might impact a student. If you're doing a good job, you're getting satisfaction. Someday somebody will come and say, "Ma'am, sir, that day you told me, that day you scolded me, that day you praised me, that day you taught me this, and then this happened." Right? So, this is what happens when you grow in understanding while doing a job. Right? Yuktahara viharasya, yukta cheshtasya karmasu, yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. So we say we'll do tapasya, or we have heard of tapasvis who do very hard penance, and oh, I have to prepare for this. I'm going to study for 20 hours and sleep for 4 hours and go not talk to anybody, don't have any entertainment because I'm preparing for this and CA exam or law exam or JE advanced and all. That is not what is going to take away your dukkha. Dukkha ha. That person's yoga will not be taking the sorrows away. So what will take? Appropriate amount of time you have to spend in ahar vihar, which is food and entertainment. Vihar you can think of as entertainment, interacting in society. Kabhi movie dekha, kabhi picnic gaye, sometime take a vacation, go to some other place and all like that. Yukta cheshtasya karmasu, karma mein cheshta. So you have to appropriate amount of effort you have to do to earn a living also. So make sure you are worthy enough in the society, so somebody gives you a job, you can get a livelihood and all. So there also you have to try yukta cheshta and yukta swapna avabodha. So you have to take some proper amount of sleep also. Can you imagine Bhagavad-Gita, the epitome of spirituality, is talking such mundane things. You have to make sure you have proper sleep. And what is avabodha? Avabodha here is saying that in this animal life that we have got, right? We are just animals, biological beings. We are just trying to get some food, so we have to get a job, so we'll study something. That's all we are doing. When will you realize that you are human, and what does it mean to be human, and to be able to, be on the path of realizing the divinity or whatever that means? So the day we start doing that, every day you should do some little bit. Don't say, okay, at 70 I will start being spiritual. Then you're set in your ways and nothing will happen, right? So enjoying and sleeping, they both incur spending. So in one you're spending wealth, the other you're spending time. Time you're spending anyway. You're sleeping, that means you're spending your time. You're enjoying, you're spending your money. When you're working or growing, that time you're earning. When you're working, you're earning wealth. When you're growing, you're earning your growth, your individual growth. What is that individual growth? Because I always try to pinpoint to exact things. What do you mean by grow yourself? Right? Have patience, have equanimity, samatva. Don't get angry. Control yourself. Why should I do that? All that stuff? Because then your work will be better. Then you will. Other people will like you. People will like you. Have a boss who doesn't get angry all the time. You'll get promotions, whatever, right? So that is the growth, whether it is workplace or in life. If you get angry quickly, if you get frustrated quickly, jealous quickly, you have not grown as a person. So that is the growth that means. And enjoying and working, they're both tangible. When you enjoy, you spend money, you watch a movie or eat something, tangible. You work, you get money, tangible. But sleeping and growing, you don't know what is the benefit. But the sleeping is required because you have to rejuvenate. If you don't sleep, then a problem. Madhyam abhayam. The Shatpat Brahman says Madhyam abhayam. The middle path is better. No extremes. Ati sarvata varjayet. Always ati is one. So you're sleeping for 4 hours, or you're sleeping for 14 hours. Both are wrong. Somewhere between 6 to 8 hours, you find some people can work with 6 hours. That's okay. Everybody doesn't have to sleep 8, but you should get up fresh. Right? So with this, I think we'll take a break. Namaskar, Sharendra ji.
हाँ महोदय, अब हम अपना जो ये दूसरा भाग है ब्रेक के बाद का, उस सेशन को चालू कर सकते हैं सर।
ठीक
जी, धन्यवाद सर।
तो चालू करने से पहले, बिफोर आई स्टार्ट, आई जस्ट वांट टू टेक सम फीडबैक फ्रॉम the participants.
श्योर सर।
It can either be in chat, and you don't have to say it is great just out of formality. I've done enough and I've grown up enough to not worry about that. So I am also doing a karma of giving the talk. I'm not worried about how many are listening, how many are not listening. I said I'm going to make a best talk possible for my own joy. Now
सर
you are also doing karma, all of you. You are
चैट को
sitting
देख
in
के लिख
this.
रहा है कि लोग अच्छे से सुन रहे हैं, बिकॉज चैट हम लोग देख रहे हैं तो बहुत पॉजिटिव वो आ रहा है
जी.
कोई।
So all of you, I want you to think in your own minds that you are spending this 3 hours. कर्म, अटेंडेंस है, कर्म है, 3 घंटे तो निकलेंगे. Are you paying attention and seeing what can I take out of this talk? Right? I'm not saying everything will be new to you, everything is something that you never thought of, and everything you will implement. I'm not saying that. But are you in the present? Because whenever there is work from home, we all know in the IT industry, all these talks that happen online, we can mute, we can sometimes put the video off. We could be in the past, we could be in the future, but I hope that you're all in the present. And this is not the first or the last Gita exposition. I've tried my best to give you some practical applications, something that you can actually use. And a lot of times, what happens, whenever all these Sanskrit works, mostly we do spiritual only. There is a huge amount of Niti Shastra that is rarely covered. And I think if you read Niti Shastra, you will get very much interested in all the Sanskrit works. That could be a starting point, and then you can, even go into spirituality. But what I'm saying is try to find something that is useful for you in this session, apart from the certificate. Hmm? See where you can apply in your. I'm not saying this will solve all your problems because the world is not ideal. The world is not fair. The world is run by Niti, right? The society is run by Niti. But all these yoga that we are talking about, whether it is Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, any of them, that could be the foundation for your thinking. That could be your guiding principles. That this is how I'll be guided. And given the circumstances of all the kinds of people are there in society, everybody is not good. This is not Satyuga. Even in Treta, they had problem, right? So Niti will be required. Even Ram had to think, do we take Vibhishan in or not? Right? Even he is Purushottam and everything, he had to apply Niti. Should we take Vibhishan in? So you will need Niti in your work. But what are you guided by? That should be the yoga. That should be the adhyatma. That should be the spirituality. That should be your guide. Okay? So I hope you will be benefited at least in part. That will be, my karma phala. Okay, so let's start from where we left. So we're talking about balance in action. So we talked about avabodha, yuktahar viharasya, yukta cheshtasya karmasu, yukta swapnavabodha, swapna avabodha. So you have to grow yourself. So the question is, what is this avabodh, growing up, waking up, understanding? When should we start thinking of growing up, right? When should we think of, "अरे गीता वीता अभी क्या पढ़ रहे हो यार, अभी तो काम करो, मतलब राम का नाम लेंगे, मरते टाइम तो थोड़ा स्वर्ग मिल जाएगा, नारायण नारायण कर लेंगे, हो गया." When should you think of growing up? पहले तो studying, then I have job, then I have family, then I have this, then I have that. At 60, 70, 80, when will you wake up and say, I need to wake up? That is the avabodh. The example I would give is a fire drill. I don't know if it happens in the university, but in all the corporate offices and all, there's mandatory fire drill. So every few months, maybe 3 months, every quarter, they will have a fire drill unannounced. Then all of a sudden they'll say, there's a fire drill, please go. And every floor will have a fire inspector. They will lead them through the stairs. You can't take the lift. And there's a designated zone. And then everybody's assembled there. Then they have to count the people, how many people had entered in the office based on the punch card. And then when you're coming out assembled there, you have to count each team, each floor leader will count and everything. There's nothing. 1 hour is wasted. Is that actually a waste? Because the day the actual fire happens, we would be more than happy that not a single person is affected. That would be great, right? So growing up is like a fire drill. There is a saying that जिसने दुख नहीं देखा वो सबसे बड़ा दुखियारा है. If you have not seen failure, you have failed. Why? Because when failure comes, you will not be able to handle it. Okay? A lot of people can't handle success also, but very few people can handle failure. And all this spiritual thinking, all this yoga and all is preparing you, because there will be a downtime in everybody's life. Ups and downs, dono hoga. Are you prepared for the downs also? Right? You're prepared to, okay, I should not give examples. I have to watch my audience. But the example I was going to give you is youngsters go to a party and then somebody will say, I'll drink 5 beers, I'll drink 10 beers, and you're just enjoying it and all. And then the next day, when you have a hangover and then you throw up and you vomit and you're, headache and all that stuff. So the up was there, then the down will also be there. So are you prepared for that? You should not wait. And I'm hoping that someday somebody will watch it on YouTube also, so the message can be for them also. Even if you're 20 years old, even if you're in college studying, please make sure you spend 15 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, whatever, in avabodh. Read good books, watch good movies, listen to good stories, be in the company of good people. Even if you are not right now, okay? It takes every kind of person. Even if you're not, even if you are forced to do things that ideally you would not, spend some time in avabodh. This growth will help you in ups and downs. There's another saying that make friends before you need them. मुश्किल में आने से पहले दोस्त बना लो, तब पता नहीं कब जरूरत पड़ेगी. So this avabodh is your friend when the musibat comes. And as I said, a lot of people don't know how to handle success or failure. Both. Success also people can't handle. They make a lot of money and then they spend all the money and they get all the, bad habits and whatever loans. And there are a lot of known, very famous athletes in America who made millions and millions of dollars. Very, very successful icons. And after their career was over, they're just gone. Nobody knows. And a lot of them have gone bankrupt because they just couldn't handle the success. Right? There's a saying, a lot of times, Viduji also says, that don't make any decision in great joy, sorrow, or anger. Because that time we are not able to think properly. Too happy, we can't think properly. Too sad, too angry, we'll make a wrong decision. We'll say something that will come to bite us. And then the famous one, दुख में सुमिरन सब करें, सुख में करे न कोय, जो सुख में सुमिरन करे तो दुख काहे को होए. Have you ever thought, what does it mean? भगवान का राम 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 करते हैं सब हो जाएगा. सुमिरन just means राम राम. What does it mean to be in the सानिध्य of भगवान? जैसे संतों के साथ रहो. संत कौन है? जो सत है वो संत. साधु doesn't mean गेरुए वस्त्र पहन के जंगल में घूम रहा है. A good natured person. सुमिरन here means when everything is going fine, सुख, तो हम कोई सुमिरन नहीं करें, सुख में करें न कोई. मुसीबत आती तब करते हैं. बीमार पड़े तो डॉक्टर को देखे. राइट? But when you're healthy, your lifestyle is that you will fall sick. So when you're healthy, if you take care of your health, you will not see sickness. That is what it means. दुख में सुमिरन तो सब करें, एग्जाम से 2 दिन पहले तो सब पढ़ रहे हैं, सारे साल कौन पढ़ रहा था? जब प्रेशर नहीं था तब कौन पढ़ रहा था? राइट? सो सुख में जो सुमिरन कर ले तो फिर उसको दुख नहीं होगा. दैट इज व्हाट इट मीन्स. यत करोषि यत अश्नासि यत जुहोषि ददासि यत यत तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत् कुरुष्व मत अर्पणम. So he says, Krishna is saying, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you pray, whatever यज्ञ करते हो, कुछ भी तपस्या करो, सब कुछ मेरे को दे दो. Do it for me. What does it mean now? I mean, I always think, how to make sense of this? We are all karma yogis. We are not sannyasis. How do we make sense of these things in कर्म? कर्म भूमि है, सब अपने काम कर रहे हैं, फैमिली है, जॉब है, सब कुछ है, सारी प्रॉब्लम्स है लाइफ, कैसे कैसे सब क्या मतलब है कि अर्पण कर दो मुझे, राइट? देयर आर मल्टीपल वेज ऑफ लुकिंग एट इट. वन इज दैट सबकी अंतरात्मा में भगवान है, तो हर जीव में भगवान है. सो मद अर्पण मतलब यू अर्पण टू द सोसाइटी, यू ऑफर इट टू द सोसाइटी, टू द ग्रेटर गुड. आप स्टूडेंट कम्युनिटी के लिए त्याग कर रहे हैं अपने समय का और उन्हें पढ़ा रहे हैं. I will give my time for the students so they become better people. You offer to them. Right? Now, this is not about making everything religious, but it is about bringing a spirit of offering for any activity that you have. Right? So, whatever you are doing for Krishna. In my view, Krishna is just another name. You could put Paramatma, you could put Ram, you could put Shiv, you could put anything that you strongly believe in. What does it mean? In a family, the children, whatever they do, they are doing it. मम्मी ने बोला है, पापा ने बोला है, कर रहे हैं. कोई टेंशन नहीं है. फुल फेथ है मम्मी पापा पे. शाम को खाना भी मिलेगा. राइट? सो द द द द काम वे इन विच ठंडे दिमाग से दे कैन डू. मम्मी ने बोला इसलिए कर रहे हैं. सो समबडी सेड टू डू इट. खुद करने को बोल तो नहीं होगा. कमरा अपने आप से ठीक नहीं कर रहा बच्चा. राइट? होमवर्क अपने आप से नहीं कर रहा. फिर पापा ने बोल दिया होमवर्क कर लो. होमवर्क कर लिया. That becomes easy. Initially in the job also, a lot of times it happens. You tell somebody, do this, then they will do it. Otherwise, they don't know what to do. So he says, Krishna says, if you don't know what to do, क्या करूं, क्या नहीं करूं, वो सब टेंशन छोड़ दो. Do it for me. Just offer it to me. Okay, fine. Krishna said, do this. I'm doing this. I have no tension. Like that. So that is what it means कि all your work you dedicate for the greater good in whatever way you think. भक्ति है तो कृष्ण के नाम पे, राम के नाम पे कर दिया. Not that सोसाइटी के नाम पे कर दिया, स्टूडेंट कम्युनिटी के नाम पे कर दिया, whatever, bigger good. Because we are all part of it. Right? So seeing inaction in action, we saw that karmani akarma yah pashyet. Then finding the inner peace even when you're fully engaged in the duties. This is very important. You're fully engaged, you're not sleeping. You are doing your job, karma, with full engagement, full effort, full consciousness, but still you are very peaceful inside. When you are peaceful inside, whether your boss is scolding you, whether your reportees are not doing proper work or whatever, you are not angry, you're not perturbed, you are calmly seeing what needs to be done, what is missing, what needs to be done. So you do that. The job gets done better. You will reply to your boss better without getting angry or whatever. You will do better interaction with your students if you don't get, "Hey, तुझे तो कुछ नहीं आता, what is this?" Oh, okay, everybody has a different level. So you dispassionately give the advice, give the gyan, give the teaching, and that's all you can do. For example, and the reason I take this surgeon example is because that's a life and death situation, right? It's not that 2 number कम आ गए तो क्या हो गया, पास तो हो गया type. So they have to remain calm even if it is a complicated operation. Okay? They have to make quick decisions because obviously they've done the surgeries, but sometimes it might happen that there is a real time reaction time required. You can't say कल देख लेंगे, right? It's not even कि घंटे भर बाद देख लेंगे. You have to do it in within minute or seconds or whatever, and they have to do it precisely. right? I'm not talking about some dermatologist or some general physician or some surgeon. Operation chal raha hai. Imagine if they panic. Maybe they opened somebody up and they found something new. Now what? If they panic, अरे ये तो कभी देखा नहीं, प्रॉब्लम हो गया. Or if they stay calm and they say, okay, fine, अब इतना सब पढ़ा है, 50 ऑपरेशन करे हैं पहले. What have I learned? What is this? What can I do? Being calm, they will be able to do it better. There is no other way of doing work without being calm. You just have to remain calm. Whatever helps you remain calm, that are the paths of yoga. So you can surrender to Bhagavan, you can be all this jnani, you can all do this karma with this passion, whatever brings you. Ultimate goal is samatvam yoga uchyate. So we are not talking about adding more obligations to life, like, karma yoga, I'll do more, give me, I'll teach, 100 classes in 1 week. That is not karma yoga. Quantity of karma is not karma yoga. Okay? Quality and how you approach. That is karma yoga. So discovering how to engage with karma with our natural roles. Natural role is again important. Somebody who doesn't like to talk, how can they become teacher? So they should pick something else. So based on our inner pravritti, we should choose roles. Then we engage it properly. Then duty becomes less about what we do and more about how we do. Right? So duties are not to bear burdens to bear. They should be opportunities to grow. काम तो करना है, तो अच्छा भी कर लेंगे और किसी का भला भी कर लेते हैं. तनख्वाह तो वैसे भी मिल रही है, आप कम काम करो चाहे ज्यादा काम करो, तनख्वाह तो मिलेगी. अच्छा ही कर रहे हैं तो खुद को भी अच्छा लगेगा, देखो मेरे कारण 4 लोगों का भला हो गया. Right? So that way. Now the responsibility part. So we said duty comes with the role. It is clearly defined and it must be done. Responsibility is how you respond, your ability to respond to the duty. That is the responsibility. Now, responsibility can be in different ways. So, because it is personal life and work life and all these things are involved. Uddharet atmana atmanam, na atmanam avasadayet. Atma eva hi atmano bandhu, atma eva ripuh atmana. Very, very beautiful. So it says that you should uplift yourself by yourself. Okay? And never avasadayet, never feel depressed, never drown yourself. So it's like sinking and coming up. So if you're in water, one is sinking, drowning, and that is swimming up. So ut haret, to pull up. Uddhar, uddhar ho gaya, uddhar ho gaya. So that is the word. Uddharet, ut haret, pull up. You should pull yourself up and not pull yourself down. Atma eva hi atmanah bandhu. You are your best friend and you are your worst enemy. Atma eva ripu atmanah. What does it mean? Which you are the best friend, which you are the worst enemy? That's the question, right? Right. There's also our capacity to respond to the situations that we have. We sometimes feel miserable, oh, I'm helpless, and this and that. And we hear in newspapers also, sometimes people take the extreme step because of extreme depression or situations or whatever. One who has controlled their atma, nigrah, indriya nigrah, that is the most important thing. All the Niti Shastra, they all say, what is the most important thing? Indriya Nigraha, Indriya Jit, right? So if you have controlled your senses, and I'm not going to go into splitting hairs into what is Atma, what is Buddhi, what is Manas, what is Indriya. Indriya is the senses, Manas is the desiring faculty, Buddhi is the thinking faculty. Faculty, I'm saying, because everything is in the brain ultimately, but we say Dil se chaha. It's not that you're desiring with the heart, but there is a part of the brain that desires, there's a part of the brain that thinks. So it says we are responsible for our own upliftment. Yes, you may have friends and family who think good about you, who care about you. That's very, very important and very good. What if you don't have? What if somebody is not caring about you? Then what? Oh, this life is not worth living it. Sab Majnu ban gaye ya depression, Devdas ban gaye and all. So Gita says, don't do that. You have the responsibility for your own upliftment. When you try to uplift yourself, others will also come to help you. But if you just sit there, don't expect others will come and lift you. You also have to put the effort. You also have to do the karma. So, which self is our friend and which self is our enemy? That which is controlled is our best friend. So, if you can control your senses, if you control your manas, if you can control your buddhi, that self is your friend because you will do what should be done, not what you want to do. There's a difference between need and want. Similarly, what you should do and what you want to do is a difference. Best option is when they match. You want to do what should be done is the best situation. Okay? There's no dilemma like that. And what is the worst enemy? Is the uncontrolled self. When your desires run amok, so you have a salary of certain amount, you can only afford a Maruti, but you want a, oh, I don't know what is the cars, I don't even have a car, but you can think of any Toyota or whatever car you want, right? You have no control. Then what you'll do? Do something on the side, do some corruption, take some bribe, whatever, because my neighbor has that car, so I also want this. So you have no control on your this thing. Nobody is saying to not fulfill your needs, basic needs, right? So that is the thing. If you control yourself, manas, senses, then you are your best friend. And if you don't need enemies to bring you down. Think of, if you are in a boat and you're steering the boat, people take vacations on a yacht or go in some voyage or whatever ship. You're steering a boat, there is a weather storm coming up. You as the sailor of the boat, the captain of the boat, you cannot control the weather. You are already out there in the ocean or in the middle of the water. Even though you cannot control the weather, you are still responsible to navigate the boat out to safety, to the shore. That is your responsibility, right? So what does it mean? You will still have to work. As long as you are in the role, you will have to work. You are responsible for that. So do the best that you can. That's all you can do. Don't worry. But there's a difference between worry and concern, right? So if the storm is coming, you as the steering of the boat, you should be concerned, but you should not be worried. Because when you worry, you take part of your mental energy that could be used to do the work. You take some of the mental energy out and start worrying. You start making your own brain tired by worrying. No matter what happens, I would request all of you, does not matter how big is the catastrophe, how big is the problem, emergency mein family member, ambulance mein bhag rahe, don't worry. Because you can't operate, you are not the doctor. What can you do? Take to the hospital as fast as you can. Take to the emergency or to the doctor as fast. That's all you can do. So please never worry. Be fully concerned, aware of the result, but not attached to the results. So now, yatha deepah nivatastha न इंगिते स उपमा स्मृता योगिनः यत चित्तस्य युञ्जतो yogam atmana. So, for example, there is a lamp inside a room, not outside in the balcony. So there's no air moving. That lamp's flame is steady, right? So deepah nivat stha, nivat without air. Vat is air. Nivat stha. So it is situated in a place that has no wind, no air blowing. Na ingate sa na ingate. That means it doesn't move. The flame doesn't move. That is the upama given of the yogina. Yat chitta. The one who has controlled one's one's chitta. That kind of a yogi, he also does not flicker. He also or she also is very stable. So what is this vata in this lamp? Is all the sensory input that you're getting. That is the vata. You see a car, you see a pizza, you see a movie, you see a reel, you see a WhatsApp video. Everything is taking your time and energy. Some of it will take your money also, right? You are distracted 10 places. That is the wind. And your mind, which is the flame, is switching between a WhatsApp video to a phone call to what's going on in the other room. What is that thing? Chai ban gayi kya? Bacche kya kar rahe hain? Whatever. 10 places your mind is running around. And you can't do any of the 10 things properly. Because you start doing one thing, something else. I know the number of people I know, I can count on my one finger that have disabled notification for apps. This is the biggest thing that happens. In all of us, we have smartphone. We cannot live without smartphone. Agreed. My attitude when I used to go to office would be I go to the office, I turn off the data. That's it. And I've told my family, if it is important, call me on the phone. I'll not check WhatsApp. I'll not check email because I'm at work. I'll turn off the data and put it there. When the data is on also, I have zero notification on anything but SMS and call. I don't have any other apps. I go through the browser on the phone. So if I have WhatsApp, there is zero notification, no, not even a vibrate. Why? Because when I have time, I will decide when I need to look at WhatsApp. Right? WhatsApp should not tell me when should I look at it. I will look at it. So then I have no disturbance. All these group chats happening with colleagues and whatever is, it's not important. If you have a group, WhatsApp group of work, that's a different story. Then you should only check that. And the easy way out is put all the chats that are not necessary groups in archive mode. You will not see it on the first page. And only your work groups you put there and you can respond. So the point here was all these things are what are disturbing our mind, taking our focus away. There is nothing called multitasking. Okay, there is nothing called multitasking. Yes, you can listen to music while you're walking because they're totally different things. But if you are on the phone, how many times have you told your wife, your children, your colleague, your students, or whoever is side में, "ए, रुको यार, एक बार जरा बात कर रहा हूँ." Right? You tell them, keep your volume down. You mute the TV because I'm talking. What happened to multitasking? Because here also voice and understanding, the other thing is also voice and understanding. Brain cannot do multitasking. There is a cost to the brain to switch the context. We have this in computer science also. Your Windows computer is running 5 things. It is actually running only one thing at a time. Modern computers have got 4 CPUs and all that, so then it can run 4 things in parallel. But one CPU can only do one thing at a time. It does it so fast and switches between that, it looks like it is doing parallel. Similarly, when we switch from writing an email response to answering a phone call to seeing that what's in the WhatsApp group, these are all switches, context switch. And you spend a lot of brain energy and time in coming back to it. आप ईमेल लिख रहे हो कुछ कुछ हाँ फिर आप इधर डिस्ट्रैक्ट हुए उधर डिस्ट्रैक्ट हुए उधर डिस्ट्रैक्ट हुए यू कम बैक टू द ईमेल यू टू अगेन थिंक फॉर 5 minutes what was I writing निवात स्थ remove distractions from your workspace do only one thing that has to be done at that time and you will do a great job so a steady mind is like a steady flame of lamp in a windless place and how does this mindset happen we're talking about all these great things why isn't everybody like this right if it is so easy everybody should be like this so it says it is long continuous sincere effort 3 things are required and this is said in Patanjali Yoga Sutra 114 satu dirghakal nairantriya satkar asevitah dridabhumi when does it become dridabhumi well established ground is not shaking solid kab hua stable kab hua dirghakal duration of practice has to be long nairantriya without break it has to be continuous and satkar sincerity se satkar done properly sat is that of that sadachar and that sat So now think of it. Today we say psychology and everything. It takes 21 days to form a new habit. All these corporate things and all. I don't know if in university also they have reached. It takes 21 days to form a habit. So do something new that you're trying to pick up for 21 days continuously. I had a friend of mine who was much more learned in Sanskrit than I am. And I used to sometimes tell him, shall we start something on this particular work? I want to, engage with you, and we'll do it whenever I have some doubt, I'll ask you or something like that, some particular work, Sanskrit book. I'll say, okay, let's do this. He would say, okay, fine, I will commit to this. But for the first 3 days, you have to do it every day. So I'll say every Sunday we'll do it 1 hour. He said, okay, fine. But the first time we have to do 3 days. You choose Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Friday, whatever. But I want 3 continuous days. Why? Because that initially that momentum will build. It's very important. It has to be continuous. If you give a break of 1 week every time, you'll lose interest also. You'll have to recap everything. So it has to be long. Anything that you want to develop, whether it is skill, whether it is mindset, whether it is a new habit, whatever. So, for example, a common example everybody has going to the gym. At least in the corporate world, everybody's got gym membership. So you can't say that I'll go once a week and I'll go for 3 months. And I'll sometimes go, sometimes not go. If I'm late, it's okay. If I eat some sweet, it's okay. So neither you are doing it for a long time, nor you are doing it every day, and nor are you doing with full sincerity. There is no benefit. You just gave the money to the gym. Whether it is studying for exams, whether it is learning a new thing, anything. Remember that Dirghakal, Nairantriya, Satkar, Asevita. So the quality of response, right? Why are we talking about this? Because we are on the duty responsibility. So how do we respond to our duty? Malati-gandha-guNa-vid darbhe na ramate hi ali. So the Malati-gandha-guNa-vid ali. Ali is the bhawra, bumblebee. Malati is the flower. Malati-gandh, the fragrance of the flower. Malati-gandha-guna, the quality of the fragrance of the Malati flower, with one who knows. So the bumblebee or the bhawra who knows the guna of the gandha of the Malati, na darbhe ramate. That bee does not interest anymore in hovering over grass blades. Because to go to the flower, it has to fly little up, right? But initially, it might be just going to the grass, because even grasses, some grasses will have some flowers. A bumblebee might go there, or the honeybee might go there. But once it gets the taste of the Malati, right? What does it mean? If you have driven a Mercedes Benz, these are the top notch I'm giving, or you have a Sony TV, you cannot go back to a Maruti, or you cannot go back to some Dabba TV or some whatever, the vividness of the Sony TV or a Canon or a Nikon SLR camera, whatever. You can think of whatever is the product and the best in that line. Once you use that, you can't lower your quality. That's what it means. Badhat badhat sampati salil, man saroj badhi jaye. As the water of wealth increases, the lotus of desires also keeps on increasing. But when the water of wealth reduces, the lotus does not reduce. You still want the good things only, right? So, how do we bring this in? Raise the bar of your own work. Okay, just like you want the best of the product, let you also give the best of your work, right? Does it delight your customers? Now, it could be, your customers are students. I'm sorry to use the word customer, but in a sense, your client, you can say, you are giving something, somebody is receiving. So whatever you are giving, is it delighting the receiver? In IT companies, we have, people write computer code. So there are two types of companies. One that sells a product. to outside. For example, Microsoft Windows is there, or PowerPoint is there, Zoom is there. So the Zoom company is making it for everybody, external. That code has to be very, very great so that it doesn't fail. If there's a failure, we can find out and all that stuff. It's very important because you don't know who's going to use it. But there are also software that are written for internal consumption, only within the company, only by the developers. There, they will sometimes say, okay, fine. If you have a problem, you tell me and I'll take care of it. Big deal. It's not outside. So this was a wonderful, there was a Microsoft big developer, very, very famous developer was there. He had come to our company and then we were talking about everything. And he said, can you sell your code on the street? That means you're writing code for your internal consumption within your company. That's fine. You think you're a great programmer. But could you sell it to somebody outside? Would somebody buy your code? Is it good enough that it doesn't fail, that it captures, that is well documented, everything? If not, you're not a great programmer. You're just, you know, uh, क्या बोलते हैं अपने को उल्लू बना रहे हो कि भी बहुत बड़े प्रोग्राम हो गए. What it means is, can you do a good job that your customer, your receiver says, boss, यहीं से लेना है. We all have this, ये वाली मिठाई की दुकान बढ़िया, वहीं से, गुलाब जामुन तो वहीं के बढ़िया है, right? या हल्दीराम, भुजिया तो हल्दीराम का, or whatever it is. I'm not endorsing anything. Idea is, set your standards high. We expect others to do a great job, right? कोहली ने कुछ गड़बड़ कर दिया या whatever, रोहित शर्मा ने ठीक से नहीं प्ले किया, वी आर गिविंग ज्ञान, अरे उसको क्रिकेट खेलना नहीं आता क्या, ऐसा करना वैसा करना, ये वो. एंड आवर ओन गेम, okay, fine, right? So raise your standards high, just like you expect others to. सक्ताः कर्मणि अविद्वांसः यथा कुर्वन्ति भारत, कुर्यात् विद्वांस तथा असक्तः चिकीर्षु लोक संग्रहम. Very, very important. He says that sakta is one who is asak, who wants the fruit. Okay, karmani. So in work, so he's very interested in the work because he wants the fruits. Avidvansa. We are saying that person is avidwan. He's ignorant. He doesn't realize the bigger truth. अरे ये सब लगाव नहीं करना चाहिए. Don't expect fruit and don't worry about all that stuff, right? With all the wisdom that we have, that person doesn't have the wisdom. He is doing work completely with the expectation of fruit. Yeah, मेरे को चाहिए, right? That is how you should also do. Kuryat vidwan tatha. The wise, after all this कर्म फल, कर्म योग का ज्ञान, भक्ति योग का ज्ञान, ज्ञान योग का ज्ञान, सब कुछ हो गया ना. Even then, when you do work like the ignorant and the one who wants the fruit, even though you are wise, not ignorant, and you don't attach to the fruit, but you should work like that. Contradiction? ये क्या उल्टा सब कर रहे हो? बीच में अर्जुन, he tells Krishna, you are telling me all this mixed up signals you are giving me. What is better? Jnana yoga, karma yoga, this, that. Don't mess with my mind. This is just messing up like that. Given all this jnana, then we are saying, no. When you work as if you are the ignorant person who wants the fruit. What would be the message in this contradictory state? So he's saying, when you do karma, your sincerity to do karma should be just like the one who really wants the fruit. Because suppose kariye, you take any example. You want to go from one place to another, or you want to pass the exam, or you want to go watch a movie, or whatever. You want to do something for that fruit. You are going to be very careful because you want it. You will make sure everything is taken care of. Planning phase में जेब में पैसा भी है, फोन भी ले लिया, चार्जर भी ले लिया, फुल चार्ज भी है, गाड़ी भी ले लिया, ओला उबर भी बुक कर दिया. Whatever that planning is required to do that act, because you are involved, attached, you want the fruits, you will do everything possible to make it succeed. Full sincerity, full effort, सबको कॉल कर दिया, जो हेल्प मिल सकता है, सब कुछ. because you want the fruit. Now, if you have become wise, oh, I don't care about the fruit. अकर्म ही देखता हूं मैं कर्म में. वो सब फंडा हो गया, very realized soul हो गए. And then you have to do some karma. If you have abandoned karma, that's a difference. You become sannyasi. बोले भाड़ में जाओ, न दुनिया से मेरे को कुछ है, न मेरे को कुछ दुनिया से. That is different. But you're still in society. You're doing karma. Then when you do the karma, even though you've realized it's all blah blah blah, you do with full sincerity. Just like the one who expects the results, wants the results, doing it only for the results, उस sincerity और effort के साथ आप काम करिए. Just because you've got the jnana does not mean you should reduce the enthusiasm, effort, or quality of the work. Karma yoga does not mean क्या रखा है फालतू, कर्म करोगे फल मिलेगा, भाड़ में सब कुछ छोड़ देते हैं. छोड़ा तो जाता नहीं है ना. बिना कर्म के कोई नहीं रह सकता है. 2 दिन छोड़ेंगे कोई, you can try, giving up your mobile phone for 24 hours. Shut it off, power off कर दे. 24 hours के लिए मोबाइल, पागल हो जाओगे आप लोग. कर्म चाहिए, फल चाहिए, right? So it says that there should not be any dip in the quality of the work. What you should reduce is the attachment to the fruit. Thing is not bad, the attachment is bad. Suppose you have a very fantastic Toyota van or whatever. I don't even know what are the greatest of the cars today. You have this wonderful. You're used to this AC, back AC, front AC. There's a back camera also. Crazy car, some 16, 20, 30 lakhs car, whatever. You have to go from home to work or wherever you have to go. One day that car is whatever, accident हो गया, कोई पत्थर गिर गया, कोई पेड़ गिर गया, खराब हो गई, नहीं जा सकते, whatever. What do? Oh my God, this, that. You have to go from A to B. Take an Uber, take an auto. If that is not there, you have to walk 100 meters to the next bus stop. Do that. Your goal is to go from A to B. आज कार खराब होगी, कोई बात नहीं है. एंथुसियाज्म में कमी नहीं होना चाहिए. अटैचमेंट कार से नहीं होना चाहिए. कार तो साधन था. That's just an instrument to get the work done. That is how you reduce the attachment. You do not reduce the quality of the karma. And why is all this important? I think somewhere in the other slides also it will come. Then it says, this is also very, very important. And I'll tell you also how it applies to all of us. न बुद्धि-भेदम जनयेत. किसी में बुद्धि भेद मत करो. Don't confuse people. अज्ञानाम, जिसको नहीं पता है, ज्ञान नहीं है. अज्ञानम कर्म संगीनाम, जो कर्म में लिप्त है, लगा हुआ. He wants the fruits. He is attached to the karma and the fruit. And he is ignorant. He is not wise. Don't confuse that person. जोशयेत सर्व कर्माणि विद्वान युक्तः समाचरण. Don't ever confuse that person and actually help them engage in the actions, and you also engage in the same way. Don't confuse or disturb the minds. Those who are doing karma, even if they're doing with attachment, don't give gyan. What is the problem that we see every day? All these great swamis, babas will say, ye sab maya hai, all this is maya. Why give me this much money to attend my course or seminar or whatever, or to my this thing? But you should be without attachment to this money. This money is all maya. So if it is all maya, then what are you doing? How can you expect a 25-year-old, 30-year-old, 40-year-old person with a family to think that wealth is maya? तो बुद्धि भेद बना रहे हैं आप, तो कंफ्यूज कर रहे हैं बंदे को. So the career शुरू हुआ है. So do not do that. Even if you are 70 and you can't eat sweets and you can't eat a lot of food, you can't drink enough, don't tell a young person to, अरे क्या रखा है खाने खाने में, सब सूखी रूखी खा लो. Why should he do सूखी रूखी? He should enjoy his life. He should earn. He should do good work in society, earn a lot and enjoy life. Vedas also say, idam purusham kamamaya. This human being is full of desires. So they're not saying don't fulfill your desires. Please pursue them. Only thing is, pursue within the bounds of dharma, law and order, ethics, so that others also can pursue their thing. So do a quality job and inspire others also, rather than confusing them, rather than telling them ये सब माया है, फालतू है, क्या कहाँ फंसे हुए हो, छोड़ो ये सब. No. Tell the student, yes, you have to study, you have to pass the exam, you have to get a good education, you have to get a good job, all those things. If for if for example a person has a true calling, सच में लगा ये सब माया है, ट्रू कॉलिंग है, तो आप कुछ भी कर लो, वो तो अपने ट्रू कॉलिंग पे जाएगा. बट आप उसको उल्टा मत बुद्धि भेद करो. Why is it so important? Krishna is telling this is the karma yoga. Karma is even jnana and bhakti is a karma only. So karma yoga is the ultimate one. Then he's saying you should not be attached. And then he's saying if you find somebody who is still ignorant and attached, don't do that. All other, uh, I don't want to be politically incorrect, but all other people who have certain opinions, they want to impose their opinion on others. I have the truth, you don't have it. I was told the truth, you accept it as is because only I have the truth. They will force their views on others and confuse the other, try to derail them. Krishna says, I'm giving you the guhyataram, the secret of the secret jnana I'm giving you. Later in Gita he says. And here he says, even if you understand, even if you are wise, even if you have no attachment, don't misguide buddhi-bhed to somebody. Why? Because karma is crucial for society. Everything is a karma. The dhobi that comes to pick your laundry, the milkman that comes to give your milk, you go to the market, to the shop, hey, chai dena ek. That chai wala is doing karma. The auto guy is doing karma. The bus driver is doing karma. The teacher is doing karma. The student is doing karma. The mother is doing karma. The son is doing karma. Everybody is doing karma. Imagine बैंक में everybody feels like, oh ये सब तो माया है, आज छुट्टी ले लेते हैं. How frustrated you will feel. I wanted to go to the bank. Okay, bank is a bad example because nowadays everything happens digital. But you get the idea. So when you need something from somebody and that somebody is not doing their job, then you feel the pinch. Oh, karma is very crucial. Karma is so crucial, and I'm not 100% sure, but I've told that in the Vedas, dharma and karma are interchangeable. And I'm giving the disclaimer. I don't have the exact this thing, but a person told me and said, why? Dharma is what dharayati iti dharma, that which will sustain the society. Again, if you are a sannyasi in the forest, these things don't apply to you, but we come together to help each other. So dharma is the one that will uphold the society. But what is it actually that will uphold the society? Uphold meaning keep the society running. Dharma is law and ethics, law and order and ethics. Yeah, true. Okay, everything is there. Law and order is there. Perfect. Singapore, no crime. Everything you want to expect. But nobody is doing karma. Nobody is doing karma. Then what will happen? Just dharma is there and society is upheld. Karma is the only thing that upholds everything. Do not mess somebody, buddhi bhed, if he is doing karma. If it is not a bad karma, let him do. That is what runs the society. So now it says that yajna arthat karmanah anyatra lokah ayam karma bandhanah. Artham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. So that karma which is anyatra from yajna artha karma. What is yajna artha karma? Yajna is, again we said, offering for the greater good. It means we are doing it for the good of the community, society, organization, or whatever. And because karma has phal, we will get something back. We are not doing charity. Okay, you are working, you will get salary. So there is no charity. But okay, there is a question. Yeah. while doing karma, do it as an ignorant person. I think I spent quite a lot of time, but I'll quickly explain this because I think I bored people off by explaining so much. A karma is somebody else is doing a karma. You're not getting the fruits of it. Somebody else sat for the exam. They passed. Nothing to do with you. You didn't get phala. You didn't get anxiety of karma also. So it didn't disturb you also. So it is a karma for you. Now imagine you have to sit for an exam. How should you do that? You should do like the uh, like as if it is somebody else doing the exam. So just like somebody else gave exam, you had not tension. When you are giving exam, you also should not have tension. You just say, I did my best. That's fine. I think you explained while doing karma, do it. Oh, okay. While doing karma, do it as the ignorant. So what it is saying is ignorant meaning doesn't have all this wisdom of yoga and everything that Krishna is telling. An ordinary person. It doesn't mean ignorant, doesn't mean some stupid guy. It's just काम में लगे हुए अपना, doing job, that's fine. With fruits, yeah, I want this result, that's why I'm doing this. That person who wants the results and is still not so-called enlightened will do with full sincerity because he wants the results. That brings the sincerity in doing the karma, the putting the full effort, full sincerity, everything. So even the wise should do that way. That means your quality of karma should not go down. Your attachment to fruits should go down. That is what it means by doing karma like the ignorant and the selfish. Selfish meaning attached to the fruits. So when you do karma, do that way. So that way your quality will be good. So here it says that any karma that is not done for yajna. So yajna artha karma, that is fine. Any karma done for the greater good is fine. Anything apart from that, lok hai ayam karma bandhana. When you're doing it for yourself, that is what is binding you. That is the attachment. You are being selfish, only working for yourself. This yourself could be your family. So there are circles of identity. One is yourself, then is your family, then is your extended family, then it is your community, locality, society, then it is your city, then it is your state, country. What is mine? That vision keeps on increasing. If you are doing it just for yourself, then that is attaching you. So he says, Tat artham karma kaunteya, so kaunteya, Arjun, do mukta sangha samachara, mukta sangha, sangha se mukt ho gaye, attachment se mukt ho gaye. Like that, you should conduct yourself. Then work becomes liberating when you do it as a yajna. When you do it for the greater good, you are part of the greater. You are part of the society. So when you do something that is for the greater good, you will also benefit from it. Others will also benefit from it. You will set a good example. Others will also do good job. Everybody will start benefiting. One bad apple, spoils the whole cart. One person is not doing the job properly. Other person might think, ye to aise kar raha, main bhi aise. Why do we have kachra on Indian streets? That is the reason. There's a wonderful initiative by an organization that had done. What they did was they cleaned up the streets. They started in Bangalore. They would clean up a certain section of the footpath of a street, which was all dirty and kachra bhi tha and graffiti and whatever. They did a wonderful job. They cleaned up. They put a bench. They put a pot with a flower and a tree, and they put some nice paint on the wall and everything. It looked very clean. And then they would observe from the side, not sitting there. They'll just do it and vanish. This is a real story. What they noticed was when you see kachra on the road, you don't hesitate to add to that kachra. But when it is a clean, nice place, nobody throws wrapper in the airport. Have you seen that? Nobody will do that in the airport. Kachra phank diya. It's already clean. Nobody wants to be the first one to do the kachra. But if it is already there, then you feel, yahan to phankte sab log. Okay, fine, I'll also do it. So it is very important not to be a bad example to somebody. Right? So, yajnartha karma. Do it for the greater good. And this is, there is a true and lasting joy. I mean, anybody who does, I'm not assuming here, I am one person who is self-critical for myself, which means that I I'm my own manager. I criticize myself without anybody saying, which means I try to improve my work again and again without anybody telling me. There is a wonderful joy of a job well done. Others will also like it, but you will also enjoy it. Try sometime. See how you can do your work better. I mean, you're already doing a great job. How can you make it even better? That should be always the concern that is. Now, and this one, these are getting longer, so I'll just put the key point here rather than going through the whole shloka. Saha-yajnAH prajaha srishtva purovacha prajapati. So the people, the praja, the beings were created and the yajna was created together. And Prajapati said this. What did he say? By this you shall propagate. Let this be the milch cow of your desires. Kamadhuk, the cow that yields all the desired objects. We have this Kamadhenu, right? So there's not a physical cow that will give all the wishes. You nourish the gods, Devata, and may these gods nourish you. Thus, nourishing one another, you shall attain to the highest good. That is what Prajapati Purovacha, right in the beginning, he said. This is a fundamental principle of creation itself, that there's a mutual sustenance, there's a mutual giving and taking. Whether it is a lion eating a deer, the deer is giving, lion is taking. Then the deer is eating the grass, then deer is taking. Lion dies and goes back. So that life cycle is also there. Everybody is giving and taking. Right? This may be, different in other thought systems, where man is given the dominion of the earth and all. But we have always maintained that you are not the ringmaster, you are part of the circus. We have always maintained you have responsibility to the nature, to the surroundings, to the earth and all, everybody, everything. You have responsibility for that. So prosper each other, meaning, and what is this devatas? You nourish the gods and the gods nourish you. What does it actually mean? There are multiple ways you can look at it. One is that all the devatas are in our own body. Okay? Indra is there in our bahu, Brihaspati is there in our buddhi, like that. All of them are in us. And if nothing else, the very fact that pran is there, hridideshe sthitam. Krishna says, I am in everybody's hrididesh. In the heart, I am there. Angushta size. Don't take it literally, but this life is sustained by that power. All of a sudden, one day that power goes off, the whole body is there, heart stops beating, gone. Pran is the one that keeps. That pran is in everybody. Every being, every living being, not just human beings, every living being. Right? So God is there in everything. Or if you don't like the word God, that power is there. Life with a capital L is there in everything. In you also, in the others also. And everybody is giving and taking. Somebody is eating eggs, somebody is eating meat. Directly from the animal is coming. Somebody is eating vegetables, coming from the same living beings only. So devatas are in everywhere. Devatas are in you also. So you nourish the gods. You nourish your body. Take care of your body. And then this body will nourish you by letting you do karma. So if you have a healthy body, healthy mind, you will be able to do karma. So you nourish the gods and the gods nourish you can be looked at as an individual. You take care of the body will take care of you. At a societal level, you take care of the people and the people will take care of you. You take care of the society takes care of you. Today, how it works, I do some work, I charge for money. I said, this is the charges for my service. So everybody is helping each other. Ultimately, it's helping. Nobody is telling you to do for free, because otherwise, how will you survive, right? Lokayatra bhi to chahiye na. So, the mutual sustenance and giving is a cornerstone of Indian thinking from the very beginning. There's nothing new. Ecosystem, environment, and all these new global village, all these new items, they are very, very old. I think I'll have to move slightly faster because Lataji, is it okay if I overshoot by a few minutes to the end? I have interesting slides and I wish I could continue that. I'm still, I have still 28 minutes, but I think I will overshoot that. We'll see when we get there. yajna-shiShTAshinaH santah muchyante sarvakilbishaihi bhunjate te tvagam papa ye pachanti atmakaranat. So yajna-shishta, what is left after the yajna, ashinah, the one who eats the leftover from the yajna, that is सर्वकिल्बिषे मुच्यन्ते, सब पापों से मुक्त हो गया वो. Right? So the best is one who eats after the yajna is over. What does it mean? What is yajna? Offering for the greater good. So you work towards offering to the others, and others will offer you also. Part of it, the service charge will come. Then you feed yourself. First take care of others, then take care of yourself. And if everybody is following this, then everybody is taking care of each other. Right? In a family, the mother will eat at the end. I don't know about nowadays young people and all. I don't know. Growing up, every family, mother will eat at the end. She will make sure everybody is fed. Sometimes there is less food left. Sometimes there is more food left. And before the fridge was common, if more food is left, then the mother has to finish it. So she is overeating. If less food is left, then she will say, "अब कौन चूल्हा जलाएगा वापस?" So she will let it go. थोड़ा कम खा लिए, कोई बात नहीं, बच्चे सब खा लिए, husband ने खा लिया. So the mother was the last one to eat. That was her yajna. She's doing it for her family, right? So there is a sense of purpose in the mother also, that okay, I took care of everybody. That was my role. Everybody has their role. I'm just giving an example of mother. There's nothing like that. What it means is you should have the mindset to do good karma, because that karma is helping others. Right? You are doing karma in the society. Do good karma. Take care of others. They will take care of you. Now this one is a complicated whatever diagram, but basically it is on the right side. You see, let me try to, let's see if I can do this laser pointy thingy. Okay, so there are clouds, the rain is coming, then water is there, it's going to the plants, then they are giving out oxygen, and some animals are dying, they will decay and become the part of the soil and all these things. So there's a whole cycle of life going on here. अन्नात् भवन्ति भूतानि पर्जन्यात् अन्न संभवः यज्ञात् भवति पर्जन्यः यज्ञः कर्म समुद्भवः. So it says all the people, all the beings, not human beings, beings, bhutani, annat bhavanti. They come from food, or you can take any harvest, grain or whatever agriculture products we are doing. That's what we are eating. Whether it is deer that is also eating the grass, we are eating. So all prani, bhutani, not just human beings. We have always been, we are all, nothing special about us. There's another shlok for that. What is special about humans? So he's talking about all beings. So the beings come from the food comes from the rain comes from yajna, and yajna is established in karma. So here the only one thing that is that how does yajna cause rain, right? That is a fundamental thing we can ask, how is this physics and all. Here the idea is this: just like the clouds are giving you rain, similarly when you do for the society will give it back to you. So yajna is the very fundamental thing. And what is yajna here? Kartavya karma. Right? Because yajna, we said, is the, in principle, it is offering for the greater good. It could be tapo yajna, jnana yajna, dravya yajna, whatever. So the cycle of giving and receiving, the codependence of every life form, not just humans. This is the essence of yajna. And we in India have understood that it is not just humans, it is all life forms that are connected. So for example, there is in the US, there was a time when they were using pesticides. They were spraying it on a large scale. So in US, the big commercial farms are huge, huge. And they're all motorized and all. So everything is done through machines and everything is done at a large scale. I'm not exaggerating, it's like that. So when they spray these pesticides, They found that all the flowers, or the grass or whatever that is outside the thing, they also got sprayed. The bees had no flowers to pollen, and within a year they could see the impact on the harvest itself. When there was no bees, there was no pollination happening. It was an actual problem. It was not just 5 bees not pollinating one flower. It was at a mass scale where it impacted the harvest. So we have always understood this, and we have always said that don't kill anything. I mean, you can move it away or whatever. Everything is part of the cycle. So only kill for self-defense, but otherwise let everybody live. Right? Now, Isha-vasyamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitha ma gridha tasya suddhanam. This comes the first shloka of Isha-vasya Upanishad. And it says that Isha Vasyamidam Sarvam, all of this, Yat Kincha Jagatyam, whatever is there in this world, in the Jagat, anything that is moving in this moving Jagat, Jagat means that which is moving all the time. The literal meaning of Jagat is Gachati Gachati Jagat. So everything is moving, the creation is not stationary. So in this entire universe, whatever is there in this Jagati, everything is Isha Vasya. There are multiple finer nuances and all. I'm not going into that. Either it is enveloped with the Isha or it is the avas of Isha. I'll leave that. But basically, everything is Isha. Tena tyaktena bhunjitha. Remembering that, with that fact in mind, tyaktena bhunjitha. Enjoy bhunjitha, consume with tyakta bhav. त्याग भाव से आप enjoy करिए. Right? Ma gridha, don't covet. दूसरे का चीज चाहिए वो सब नहीं करो. कस्य सुधनम, ये धन किसका है? Right? So everything is divine. Remembering that, consume with detachment. Detachment मतलब जितना चाहिए उतना लो, एक्स्ट्रा क्यों ले रहे हो, दूसरे को भी लेने दो. So a lion who has just eaten his lunch will not attack any animal even if they come very close to it. Yeah, आराम से बेटा, मेरा पेट भर गया अभी, that's fine. Now everybody is free. So enjoy with renunciation. That's what it means. Every time you enjoy, remember everything is temporary. Ma gridha, don't covet. Whose is wealth? What did you bring in this world? When you were born, you brought nothing. Everything is from this world, and everything was done by somebody in the society. So what are you doing for the society? That's all. Everybody's karma is the only thing matters. Why rupee against dollar is changing and all? So you have 1 lakh rupee, dollar price fluctuates, rupee fluctuates, it keeps reducing. So money is not the thing. Money is nothing. Money is a token. But how much does the food cost? Right? So actual thing, the resource, that is all that matters. And that is a result of somebody's karma. Right? So all the societies run on karma. Ayam nijah paroveti ganana laghu chetasam udhar charitanam tu vasudhaiva kutumbakam. This we all know, right? I mean, it has been made world famous by our Prime Minister. And what it says, Ayam nijah, this is mine, parah va iti, and that is parah, that is others. Ganana iti ganana laghu chetasam. Laghu chetasam, जिनकी चेतना लघु है, very small minded people, they count like this is mine, this is others, this is mine, this is others, this is mine, this is others. Udhar charita naam tu, magnanimous, big hearted people, vasudha eva kutumbakam. Vasudha, vasu is prosperity, dha is the one जो धारण करती है, treasure है जो. So treasure of prosperity is vasudha, earth. Vasudha is the giver of treasures, prosperity. Vasudha is the repository of Vasu. Every prosperity you can imagine, from iPhone to satellite to great food to best cloth to the greatest car, it came out from this earth. Everything used came out from this earth. Your body came out from this earth. You will die and become part of this earth. Your best car came out from this earth. This iPhone 13X, Ultra Pro, fine, whatever that thing, all was made from things from the earth. That is why it's called Vasudha. And it is not Kutumba, it is Kutumbakam. Kutumb is a small family. So the whole world is a small family, not even a family, fully interconnected. Now, this is said in Maha-Upanishad, which is a very scriptural, the spiritual work, and all nice things are said and everything. This is also the only other place it is used is in Hitopadesh. And this is very interesting. Everybody knows this Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam and nobody knows where it is, or very few people know where it is. Now people have started, some social media thing is there. So one of them is a very altruistic, spiritual in Maha-Upanishad. Great idea is given. Everybody is connected. Everybody is like a small family member. So why this mine and tera mera kya laga hua hai? But the other one is in the Niti. Hitopadesh is a very practical word, and that's one of my favorite and the first book that as a child, I picked it up. Child meaning 10th grader. And people don't know that most of the Sanskrit literature is composed of Niti Shastra, not of spirituality. Because Niti runs the world, spirituality is the foundation of running the world plus afterlife. But Niti is the very important. When we don't know Niti, we don't know who is good and who is bad for us, who is manipulating us, or how can we manipulate somebody. Niti goes both ways. So Hitopadesh is very practical, not at all politically correct. And this is used in Hitopadesh when there is a crow and a deer who become friend. And one day the deer was in the forest, and then there is a jackal that comes, and he looks at this very healthy deer. He says, "Ah, dinner, today's dinner. Oh, I need to eat this deer. That's the whole goal of my life now. What a wonderful deer." So he says, "How to trap him?" So he goes and says, "Oh, sir, I'm new to this forest and all. I don't have any friends. Can you be my friend?" The jackal is telling the deer, and the deer was very naive deer. So he says, "Okay, fine, fine, come. You can be my friend. I have a wonderful friend. The crow is there, my friend, and there's a turtle also." So, by the end of the day, this deer takes the jackal, and they both walk back to their home where the crow is sitting uh, on the tree. So the crow sees that the jackal is also coming. He gets very worried, and as they are coming, the crow tells the deer, "What the heck is this? This is your born enemy. Why are you coming with him?" So then the deer says, "No, he's new and all. He's lonely, wants friendship and all." So I said, "No, we have a bunch of very good friends. So you come with us." Then this crow says, "Do you not know that you are the natural food for this guy? He's going to eat you." Then the jackal says, "Ayam nijah parovaiti ganana laghuchetasam." You are being such a small crow. You are like a very narrow-minded. Ayam nijah paroveti. Udharcharitanam tu vasudhaiva kutumbakam. Everybody is, a living being. Everybody has loneliness. We can all be friends. Why not? Right? So the lesson from here, and obviously the story goes that deer doesn't listen, and then he gets trapped, and then the crow comes and helps him. And then the deer realizes that the crow was telling the right thing, and then the jackal is, gotten rid of, and all that stuff. So what is the story? Why Hitopadesh picks it up? There is a saying in English: the devil quotes the scripture. So here it says that because Upanishad said Ayam Nija Paravati Vasudha Kutumbakam and all, jackal is saying. Who is saying, to whom, in what context, for what purpose is as important as what is being said. If you don't take anything out of the session, take this. Just because somebody गीता में तो ये कहा है, अरे किसने किसको क्यों कहा, क्या कॉन्टेक्स्ट था, वो सब देखो फिर सोचो. Right? So what applies to your situation may not apply to others. That is the reason Hitopadeshma was given. It says being good is different than being foolish. Please don't be foolish just because you want to appear good. अरे लोग क्या कहेंगे, भला आदमी ऐसे थोड़ी करता है. अरे दूसरा भला नहीं है भाई, शठे शाठ्यम वर्तते. दुष्ट के साथ दुष्टता से ही व्यवहार करना होगा. Okay, so now let's take some examples. We have seen the theory, a lot of it, and the application will be pretty much the same, but I'm just giving you some scenarios. So for example, somebody is in social work, and they can feel a burnout Every day you are meeting the needy, the suffering, or whatever, misfortunate people, and you might feel like, what is this is life? Kuch nahi hai duniya mein, kya hai? It affects, for example, they say, even in modern this thing, the caretaker also needs care. Suppose you have old parents at home, or you are a nurse or whoever, and you are caring for people all the time, and you forget to take care of yourself. That also happens with the mother or the housewife. She's taking care of everybody, and she's not taking care of herself. She falls ill, right? So that burnout happens. What to do with this? Now you have to realize you cannot at all ever solve the entire world's problem. The biggest, the 9 avatars of our own Vishnuji has happened, right? Then Jesus has come, Buddha has come, and Guru Nanak has come. So many great leaders have come, so many great spiritual leaders, and every great people has come. Problem of world is not solved. So you also cannot solve the entire world's problem. Don't take the whole world on your shoulders. You are not Atlas. He also got tired. So the approach is Karma Yoga. You do what you can do best. गिलहरी तो आके एक वो अपना अखरोट पे डाल दिए थे ना राम जी के सेतु में. तो you be the गिलहरी. I will do whatever I can do because I can't do more than this. So what is the worry? That is the attitude you have to have. When you have this, you will be able to sustain your service more. You will have less exhaustion out of the emotional attachment, emotional burnout. नहीं होगा. You'll still be able to make good decisions. In healthcare, for example, uh, there are doctors who see complicated cases day in and day out. Not every doctor, not every day, but there are some doctors, like a cancer doctor is there. Every day he will to see cancer patient only. Somebody who's in the ER emergency room, he will always see accidents happening. So that can also become, very emotional draining. And not every time, critical patient sometimes can't help it. There are other constraints or whatever, you can't save every patient. So imagine, it's not दो number कम आ गए, एक बार fail हो गए and all, the patient died. So whenever that happens, the doctor, whether general people realize it or not, doctors don't take it lightly. They get impacted by it. And if it happens a couple of times and all, they will start doubting themselves. So what can you do if you're trying your best? Okay, fine. That's all I could do. You give the best care possible without attaching to the outcome. Because if you do good karma, good phal will come. That's it. If you approach it that way, take for example a nurse who has to take care of all the patients in the ward. She sees 30, 40, 50 patients 3 times a day, every day and all. What motivates her? Just salary. It's difficult. Someday you'll get exhausted and just say, "Bhad mein jaye, I'll take something else. I'll take a less." Somebody has to do that job. How will that person do the job? Whoever is going to do the job, how will they do it? They have to become dispassionate in the sense of not attached at all, but still do the job with full sincerity. One example, you take your child to the hospital for some injection is to be done or fracture ho gaya, kuch karna hai, whatever. Because it is your child, you are holding it like a flower. Okay? Oh no, no, aisa nahi, waisa nahi. And you take the doctor, doctor has to now cure. Suppose bone ka kuch ho gaya, so he has to put it back. How can he say, oh no, 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 I can't have it, cry कर रहा है बच्चा and all. अरे वो तो होगा. काम आपका ऐसा है, बच्चे को रोना पड़ेगा एक बार के लिए, उसके बाद ठीक होगा. Parent cannot do that. The doctor only can do that. Why is the doctor can do but parent can't do? Because the parent is involved party. वो attached है. डॉक्टर को तो रोज पेशेंट आता है 10. वो अटैच नहीं है हर एक पेशेंट के साथ. अटैच हो गया तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी. Surgeons don't operate on their own family members for this same reason. There are very, very rarely any surgeon who will operate on their own family member. They will give it to a friend surgeon. या तू कर दे, मेरे से नहीं होगा. That is the attachment problem. And the day you figure this out, कि attachment से कोई फायदा नहीं है, all problems are solved. Teaching में, for example, you teach the best way possible, and still some students are failing or not getting good grades and whatever. What can you do? You are doing your best. There are going to be some students who are not going to be able to learn everything. There are going to be some students who have the brains but are not going to apply it just because They are careless right now. Maybe they will, realize it later. So now, let's take personal life. I think, yeah, this section I want to finish. Even if we are not able to do the professional life, I want to do the personal life. Professional is also similar. If you have same principles will be applied. We saw this one. I Yeah, we saw this one before. Yat karoshi, yat ashnasi, yat juhoshi, dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva mat arpanam. So whatever you do, eat, yajan, whatever tapasya, everything you give it to me. Okay? So every karma is divine. You see divine work in every karma. That is the point. Now rituals, or we use mantras or chants or whatever you want to call them, they are ways to distinguish some important acts. For example, child is born, birthday is there, the actual first time wedding is there, anniversary is there, kids are getting graduated, schools, students are getting graduated, everything, even death. Every one of these has got a special right, RITE, right? A way of celebrating that. You don't celebrate the wedding the same way as a birthday. You don't get a wedding. Okay, you get a cake, but each has a different chant for it. If you take an Indian perspective, then there's a different way of celebrating birthday and a wedding and a death or whatever. Why do we do this special? Why graduation time where the students will have a cap and throw it and all? What is the big deal? We want to mark the important event of our life. Everything is like that. We know everybody's birthday is not a big deal because there's 7 billion people in there. So everybody's birthday big deal. But for them it is big deal. They will celebrate. So the way to bring divine aspect in all the karma, yat karoshi, yat whatever you're doing, whatever you're eating also, whatever you're giving, whatever tapasya you're doing, everything you give it to me. How do you do that? Karagre vasate Lakshmi, karamadhye Saraswati, karamule sthita Gauri, mangalam karadarshanam. This shlok you recite when you get up in the morning. Don't rush. So what people do normally, they will put an alarm or not put an alarm. They will, suppose you have to get out of the bed at 6 o'clock. Then you'll have an alarm at 6 o'clock, then you'll turn it off, you'll not get up, 15 minutes more. Then you'll say, oh my God, now I have to rush. Then you'll jump out of the bed, rush through everything and whatever. So the traditional way is when you wake up, you sit in the bed. You don't even have to open the eyes. You can keep your eyes closed. You sit in the bed for some time. Then you recite the shlok. Kar agre vasate Lakshmi. At the fingertips is Lakshmi. Okay, the fingertips. Kar madhye Saraswati. On the hatheli, on the palm is Saraswati. Kar mule sthita Gauri. At the mool, the wrist, at the base of the kar, hand is Gauri. Mangalam kar darshanam. It is very good to see your hands. What does it mean? Lakshmi is in the fingers. If we don't have the fingers, we can't do anything. The reason humans progressed is opposable thumb. We could hold things. That is why only humans have progressed. All the animals are still like that. They cannot make any tools. Karamadhye Saraswati, Karamule Sthita Gauri. All the three uh, concepts of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh are in your hands. If you have your hands, you can do anything. You are still not helpless. So when in the morning you open your eyes and look at your hands and be thankful for being able to wake up, for having healthy hands. Then while sitting, you say, Samudra Vasane Devi Parvata Sthanamandite Vishnupatni Namastubhyam Padasparsham Kshamasvame. Now you are telling the earth that the one who has the garments of the ocean and the breasts of the mountains, such Vishnu Patni, please excuse me, I have to step on you. Because अब काम करना है, daily work you have to do, you have to step on earth. So you are asking, sorry, I have to step on you. You are Mother Earth and all, but I have to do this. When you get out of the bed, the direct implication of this is, even if you aram say you say this two sloks, it will take you a minute or so, 45 seconds to a minute, 60 seconds. In that time, when you're sitting up, when you're lying down, your heart and brain are the same level. And as soon as you get up, jump up and all, there is a low blood supply to the brain momentarily. Depending on your age, if you are older, that momentary lack of brain blood to the brain, less blood to the brain, can actually cause you a severe medical situation. And it is also medically known that a lot of these heart attacks or brain strokes happen in the early hours of the morning. So even that way. But otherwise, you start with a nice shlok, your day is going to start nicely. For taking a shower, we have Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati. For studying, we have Saraswati Namastabhyam Varde Kamarupani. For eating, we have brahmArpaNam Brahmavi. Right? We saw that earlier. Before sleeping, Karacharana Kritam Vak-kayajam Karmajam Va Nayan Shravanajam Va Manasam Va Paradham. This is to Shiva. That in anything that is born of, done by Kar or Charana, Kar Charana Kritam, done by my hands or feet. Vak Kayajam, born of my speech or my body. Karmajam, born of my karma, because as a result of the karma. Nayana Shravana Jam Va, born out of my seeing or hearing, born meaning as a result of. Any vihitam, avihitam, visible, non-visible, intentional, unintentional, any of these aparadha that I have done, please pardon all my aparadha. Jai Jai Karuna Abde Shri Mahadeva Shambhu. You are an ocean of mercy, O Shiva. Please forgive any aparadha I might have done with my ears, eyes, feet, or hands, or body, or speech, knowingly, unknowingly. And the other reason you do that is that Shiva is not a destroyer, he's a transformer. There's another problem we have with our interpretations. Shiva is the destroyer. There's nothing called destruction. You cannot create, you cannot destroy. I'm not talking spirituality, physically also. You cut a tree and make a table. What did you destroy? You didn't do anything. You just changed the form. Similarly, Shiva changes. There is no creation. There's only transformation. You're born from what? Not out of nothing. You're born from the food or the molecules that are out there. Tree grows up because of the nourishment in the soil. There is no new creation. It is transformation. There is no sustenance. Every second, microsecond, your cells are dying, new ones are born, your skin is getting on. So there is no sustenance. There is no constant. Only transformation. And Shiva is the transformation. So you are telling Shiva before sleeping that anything wrong I did, please forgive me and make me a better person when I get up. I am now coming in your lap. I'm going to sleep. For all practical purposes, I might never get up. Right? Who knows you will get up or not? We assume. Maybe you don't get up. So you are telling Shiva, please make sure I get up and please make me a better person. How beautiful it is that every karma can be made with a divine touch. Now imagine, you're interacting with your children or your spouse. A lot of times parents scold children, really angry. Teachers might scold students, really angry, right? Why are we doing that? Is it because we are frustrated or is it because we want the good for the other one, the student or the child, right? You could be frustrated because, work mein kuch problem ho gaya. I told you 10 times, why are you not listening? So what is more important? He's not listening or it is not good for him if he doesn't listen. Because if you feel challenged that, not taken my authority, I gave the command and not executed, that is a challenge, that's a problem. Maybe you're not communicating it properly. So maybe you need a different way of telling the child, whatever. But is it the frustration or the good? Now, there is another thing we should also do. This is Karma Yoga applied to personal life. When I was, okay, I shouldn't say when I was 30 years back, 20 years back, parents would still make children do some stuff. बेटा एक चम्मच ले आना वहां से रूम में से चम्मच लेगा बेटा 2 रोटी और लेके आना तो बेटा भाग के जा रहा है पापा के लिए मम्मी के लिए किसी के लिए भी रोटी लेके आ रहा है आजकल क्या हो गया और बाकी लेटर ऑन पीपल विल से No. I don't like anybody else to do my work. My work, I'll do myself. So they will get up from the table and take their own plate to the sink, not let the child take the plate. अपना खुद का बच्चा है. नहीं, बच्चे से थोड़ी से काम कराते हैं. अपना काम खुद करना चाहिए. हम सेल्फ सफिशिएंट है. बच्चा कब सीखेगा? You have to make the child do some work, age appropriate work, not because you can't do it, because how will the child learn to do it? That is the reason you have to make your children do small stuff. I had made sure all my children can cook, boys and girls. And I made sure that age appropriate, they started doing something or the other, something or the other. And it's part of their training because one day they will go out in the world. Who's going to train them then? So it's part of the training. We should do that. For spouse, obviously, all the marriage jokes, they're always complaining jokes, right? The wife is the boss and the husband is nothing, helpless, this and that. Okay, funny, fun is okay, but it kind of becomes repetitive and same thing, and it doesn't give you a good taste for companionship. Then also there is nowadays at least there's competition, the feeling of competition between spouses because both are working. I'm better or not better. Why do you think this and that? What are that sense of competition comes? Instead of being a corporation, you're a team. You should work together. There is no if husband gets a promotion then the wife feels, oh मैं तो घर में ही हूँ कुछ करने. अरे भैया दोनों को promotion मिला है. Then there's also this if the wife is not working, if it's just a housewife, then what is this? I don't know what wives do. They're just sitting at home doing nothing. The men, they work. No, that is also not right, because men are able to work peacefully, great at workplace because they know that the wife is taking care of the home and the kids and everything. That is a big deal. You're able to do great job at work because home is taken care of. What are you earning for? If you're earning and the home is not taken for, what's the thing? So housewife is not housewife. She is the manager of the house. Then there's a concept of griha-lakshmi and pati-parameshvara. Nobody has ever explained it properly. Nobody has got it properly. And this gets also like, what pati-parameshvara? What does it actually mean? I really want to, this is a very practical thing, and I don't think you will ever get to hear from anybody. I have not heard it anywhere. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is the best I could do. Lakshmi comes from the word lakshya, which means something that is जैसे होता है लक्ष्य टारगेट होता है. So some characteristic that you can point out. He's very smart, he's very tall, he's very strong, she's very beautiful, she sings well, she cooks well, she codes well, she teaches well, whatever. So these traits that make somebody stand out, lakshan, right? We know the lakshan. So लक्षण मतलब अच्छे लक्षण नहीं, वो नहीं. The traits, good traits. So Lakshmi is that which stands you out, outstanding. And Lakshmi not just wealth. Ashtalakshmi hai, Gajalakshmi, Santan Lakshmi, Vijay Lakshmi, Raj Lakshmi, Dhana Lakshmi, Dhanya Lakshmi. What are all these Lakshmi? Right? So Lakshmi is that which distinguishes you, sets you apart. So if you have Dhanalakshmi, obviously that is the Lakshmi we only know. All we know is Dhanalakshmi. Dhanya Lakshmi, there was a time when food was important. So किसी के पास गोदाम में भरा पड़ा है 100 किलो का चावल 6 महीने को टेंशन नहीं है. So people know, oh, he has got food. Right? Gaja Lakshmi, किसी के पास हाथी है तो the whole village knows, oh, he is the only one who can afford to have an elephant. Griha Lakshmi means the griha, a house, a home, is known by the wife. And I'm not being, this thing, I'm just being very, very fact I'm saying. Even among guys, even among men, if somebody's wife is not very receptive of the friends, then people will say, नहीं यार अपन रेस्टोरेंट में मिल लेते हैं. और they will say, नहीं नहीं उसके घर चलते हैं और उसकी वाइफ क्या बढ़िया खाना पिलाती है, क्या बढ़िया से रिसीव करती है, whatever. कोई फंक्शन हो रहा है तो wife is arranging everything. The home is known by the wife. I said home. Okay? The family is known by the wife. Because wife is the mother, she is going to be the first teacher of the child. If she is trained well, she is educated, she knows well, she will bring up good children who will become good citizens. Everybody will say, उनके बच्चे बड़े अच्छे हैं. कैसे हैं? First is the mother who is giving the values to the child. So the whole home, the whole family is known by the wife. If she is good, if she's taken good care, everybody will say, oh, kitna badhiya family, kitna badhiya ghar hai. That is the griha-lakshmi. What is pati-parameshvara? What is Ishwar? Ishwar is Ishita jisme hai, the one who controls. Okay, that is Ishwara. Param Ishwar, the supreme. Now, why is Pati called Parameshwar, or the wife should look at Pati as Parameshwara? If you have a choice between here is Param, here is Ishwar, here is husband, here is Pati, here is Ishwar, what will you choose? The wife would choose the Pati because he is the Param Ishwar. What does it mean? It is the bond, the loyalty to the team. The husband and wife are a team. Nobody is up and down. Nobody is greater and less. They're a team. Arundhati, but Vashishta and Arundhati, they are two stars, twin stars. They rotate around each other. It's not like Earth going around the sun. Twin stars, the Arundhati Pradarshan Nyaya, we show the Arundhati star at the wedding time, right? They're a twin star. So husband wife is like that. They're twin stars. They're co-presidents. They're the two wheels of the chariot. So the loyalty of the wife to the husband should be, भगवान भी आ जाए तो मैं तुम्हारी साइड लूंगी, तुम चिंता मत करो, जाओ दुनिया को देख लो तुम. That is the loyalty. If a wife gives to husband, husband will actually conquer the world. जान निछावर कर देगा फैमिली के लिए कि तुम ही मेरे लिए सबसे बड़े हो, भगवान से भी पहले तुम हो. That's all it means. It doesn't mean कि मैं दासी और तुम मेरे बॉस हो गए. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. सब कुछ डिसाइड होगा प्रॉपरली. ये क्यों हो रहा है, वो क्यों हो रहा है, सब कुछ करेंगे. लेकिन तीसरा कोई आ गया तो हम दोनों को नहीं बीच में कर सकता. ये है लॉयल्टी. ये है पति परमेश्वर. Okay, I think I'll move little quickly. 10 मिनट एक्स्ट्रा हो गए हैं. सो छोटा एग्जांपल देता हूँ अभी. सो जैसे मान लो हम घर जो है, वी अरेंज द घर, क्लीन इट अप एंड पुट इट अप एंड ऑल व्हेन गेस्ट इज कमिंग. व्हाई कांट वी डू इट व्हेन देयर इज नो गेस्ट? व्हाई कांट वी कीप इट क्लीन एंड अरेंज नाइसली? वी हैव नॉर्मल डे टू डे का प्लेट एंड चम्मच एंड कटोरी, एंड गेस्ट आने का प्लेट एंड चम्मच कटोरी बढ़िया है. सो मतलब महीने में एक बार निकलेगा, 4 महीने में एक बार अच्छा प्लेट निकलेगा, और बाकी आप जो है 29 days या 3 months आप एकदम मामूली में काम चला रहे हो. व्हाई डोंट यू एंजॉय इट एवरी डे? व्हाई आर यू नॉट एज इंपॉर्टेंट एज द गेस्ट? किसके लिए बचा के रखे हो? राइट? सो एंजॉय योर लाइफ, keep it tidy, keep it nice, keep it everything every day. So there is a practice, I think the Kerala king, uh, Padmanabh, I'm forgetting the name of the king of Travancore. He ruled saying that this kingdom is of Narayan. The kingdom is of Narayan. I'm just the caretaker. There are people who would, on their house, they would have, Narayan Nivas. They really meant it. Not like today. What they meant by this house is of Vishnuji, of Narayan. I'm just the caretaker. मैं तो नौकर हूँ. घर संभालने को दिया है भगवान ने. Now imagine when you have been given the job of taking care of something. जैसे आपने घर में मेड है, कुक है, नौकर है, कुछ रखा हुआ है, वो क्या करता है? अरे मार्केट ने बोला, मैडम ने बोला करने का तो करेंगे, वो बड़े से करेगा काम. ही हैज टू डू इट. बट खुद के लिए होता तो हम रिलैक्स कर जाते, अरे चलो छोड़ो कोई बात नहीं. सो वो रिलैक्सेशन इन द क्वालिटी ऑफ कर्म कम्स व्हेन इट इज फॉर योरसेल्फ. लाइक समटाइम्स इफ यू आर, खाना कम पड़ गया तो वाइफ बोलेगी, अरे चलो छोड़ो यार, मैं तो ये आधी रोटी खा लेता हूँ, कोई बात नहीं. लेकिन बच्चे को अगर कम पड़ गया तो वो आटा नया गूंद के बनाएगी. Right? So when you take care of this thing, like, okay, this is somebody else's house, I have to maintain it, then automatically happen. Again, small things में you are bringing divine. vak-tapas, vak-tapas ये है कि सत्यम ब्रूयात प्रियम ब्रूयात. ये मनुस्मृति से है. न ब्रूयात सत्यम अप्रियम, प्रियम च न अनृतम ब्रूयात, एषः धर्म सनातन है. सत्यम ब्रूयात, सत्य बोलिए, स्पीक द ट्रुथ. प्रियम ब्रूयात, 4 कंडीशन लगाई है. You have to say the truth. You have to say it sweetly. You cannot say a sweet lie. Satyam अप्रियम वो भी नहीं बोल सकते. सत्य तो है, हार्श ट्रूथ, सत्य बट अप्रिय. एंड प्रियम च अनृतम वो भी नहीं बोल सकते. स्वीट लाइज भी नहीं, हार्श ट्रूथ भी नहीं. आप बोलोगे यार बोलूं कि नहीं बोलूं, क्या करूं मैं? राइट. इफ यू कैनॉट टेल द ट्रूथ स्वीटली, you are not trying hard enough. This especially applies if you are the leader. आपके अंडर में कुछ लोग हैं, आप सीधा साधा बोलते हो आई एम ए स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड मैन, आई टेल द ट्रूथ. भाड़ में जाए किसका क्या फीलिंग है, वट एवर यू माइट बी थिंकिंग. आई एम ए स्ट्रेट शूटर. आई मीन कॉर्पोरेट में तो बहुत ऐसे वर्ड्स होते हैं. आई एम ए स्ट्रेट शूटर, आई टेल द ट्रूथ एज इट इज. अरे भैया कुछ कोशिश कर लो ना. इफ यू ब्रेक द हार्ट ऑफ योर एम्प्लॉइज, आपके अंडर में जो है रिपोर्टीज हैं, चाहे वो स्टूडेंट हो, चाहे वो आप प्रिंसिपल हैं तो टीचर जो है, आप टीचर हो तो आपके अंडर में स्टूडेंट्स जो भी है. इफ यू ब्रेक देयर हार्ट बाय नॉट टेलिंग द ट्रुथ स्वीटली, हाउ कैन यू एक्सपेक्ट देयर लॉयल्टी? आप एक्सपेक्ट करते हो कि मेरे नीचे जो सब लॉयल हो पूरे तरह से, लेकिन मैं को ब्रूटल दे दूं ऐसा कहता, भैया बचपन थोड़ी है ये, बड़े हो गए, हैंडल करो ट्रुथ को. So you are not trying hard enough. Okay, I think I am going to Lataji. I think
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
have overshot a lot. So
That's okay, sir. That's okay, sir. No
I,
problem. And there are some
I'll do a
questions.
quick recap, just a quick recap,
Yes, sir.
and then we are done.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So first we saw karma, that is action is inevitable. Always you have to do something. You can only control the karma, you cannot control the phala. And when you do the karma, you do it as if you are doing a karma. That means you should not be attached to the phala. This is the sequence in the way karma yoga will develop. And then the doership and desire is what gives you attachment. I am the doer, I am great, I can do this and all, and I want the fruit. These two things are the one causing the desire, attachment. And you should see Brahman in all the actions, like brahmArpaNam, brahma. Whatever you are doing, bring divinity in small, small actions. And samatvam yoga uchyate, equanimity is yoga. And best among all the karmas, all the karma action, whatever, yoga is the best karma. And dharma comes with the role. Tat sthanapanne tat dharma labha. When you get the position, you get the duties. Responsibility is how you engage when you are doing your duty. And even after realizing that all this is maya, all this is bakwas, all this transient, all, don't lower your quality of karma. Only lower the attachment to phala. Don't confuse the attached doer. कर तो रहा है, at least he's doing, right? Do good karma for the greater good. You will also benefit in the collective. Have a balance in earning and spending. Every karma is divine. Don't be depressed. Lift yourself up. You are responsible for yourself. You cannot blame others. Okay? And only the yajna karma will not bind. Everything else is a selfish act which will bind you, which will cause you joy in success and sorrow in failure. But if you do it with a detachment, you will not be sorrow in failure. Mutual sustenance is fundamental to creation. And first, take care of others, then eat later. Iti te jnanam akshyatam guhyat guhyataram maya vimrishyeta sheshena yathechasi tatha kuru. So I have told you this secret of secrets. Think about it and then do what you feel. That is what Krishna tells Arjuna. Lataji, I am done.
Yes, sir. Shailendra, are you here?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you
Yes,
so
yes.
much, sir.
I apologize for taking 17 extra minutes.
No, sir, but we are amazed. We are amazed. Very good.
So the chat box is full of messages, sir.
Oh,
Everybody is praising, sir.
Thoroughly enjoyed. Yeah.
Most relevant, very well explained, sir. आप कुछ questions अगर हैं तो हम ले सकते हैं. Dear participants, if you have some questions, you please put down in chat box.
is it possible to save this chat and send me, because I am not able to, copy or see the whole thing right now. But when the Zoom session is over, I think the chat is also saved in a file locally or
Well,
wherever
yeah,
that video is saved.
I don't know if it is saved, sir. That part I don't know. But of
No,
course,
no,
we
wherever
can
the
take.
video is saved, this will be. Oh, you're not saving the Zoom video also? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But sir, we can save some of the questions. One or two questions, important, sir. We can uh, give it to you. Maybe you can take it up in the next session also.
Sure, sure, sure. Is there
There are
anything
just,
right now
I'll
somebody
say there are
has a
two
small
important
question that
questions.
won't take too much time? I can.
Yeah, yeah. I think, sir, one question, only two, I think. So I think you can take that question also, not a problem. शैलेंद्र, अगर आप देख पा रहे हैं?
हाँ, एक सेकेंड मैम,
हाँ,
एक
एक मैं देख पा रही हूँ, अगर मैं बोल देती हूँ, सर बोल देंगे.
ओके सर.
Sir, there is one question. A live tree is being converted into a table. How we can say it is transformation? Please enlighten us. So
Wood to
that's
wahi
one
hai na?
question.
Same wood is there. You didn't create a single tree cell. You just changed it. You didn't create anything.
Otherwise
You
the chat
change the
is
shape of it
filled
to
with.
call it a table. You take sand, you take clay, you make a pot. What did you create? You created a shape. You didn't create clay. You didn't create even one new molecule of clay. Right?
Yes,
So
sir.
what is meant is everything that is happening is a change. Even if it is a chemical process happening that we are creating, some new chemical, or we created a fertilizer, we created a poisonous gas or what, all the atoms are still there. We are just transforming things. Even energy to matter also now science accepts. We already have Adi Shakti is the primordial energy from which everything comes out. We have been saying this. But we simply say, oh, Adi Shakti is like Durga or some shape and all, some woman. No, it is a feminine quality is given, nothing else. It is not a female in the sense of we understand man and woman. Adi Shakti is not that way, right? So everything is coming from Adi Shakti only. That is what is energy. Then everything is converted into matter. Science also says you can't create anything. Everything is transformation only. That is what was meant by that. You only change the form and shape.
आई थिंक क्वेश्चंस ओवर हो चुके हैं सर. जो एक दो क्वेश्चंस है, आई थिंक उसका आंसर आपने दे दिया है सर. तो मुझे लग रहा
Please, I have shared my email and my website.
जी.
Please, any question you have, you can share, you can send an email. On the website, there is a WhatsApp link. You can also WhatsApp me. I cannot guarantee instant reply because I, check WhatsApp only during specific times, not all the time. But I would love to hear from any and all of you, email and WhatsApp.
थैंक
Any
यू.
questions or any, anything you want to share.
डेफिनेटली सर. थैंक यू सो मच. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर योर ऑफरिंग सर.
Thank you very much.
कर्मयोग के इतने डायमेंशंस को एक साथ हम सबके सामने लाकर उसके प्रत्येक एस्पेक्ट को आपने इतने अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन किया है विद एग्जांपल सर. तो हमारा वास्तव में बहुत एक एनरिचमेंट है. हमारा जो भी हमारी लर्निंग है उस आपके सेशन के पहले और बाद में उसमें काफ़ी लगता है कि पॉजिटिव गेन हुआ है सर. और डेफिनेटली आपकी जो पीपीटी है उसकी बहुत डिमांड है हमारे ज़्यादातर
अरे डिमांड की तो बात ही कहे, तो यूट्यूब पे पड़ा हुआ है तो.
एवरीबडी इज आस्किंग फॉर योर पीपीटी सर. बट एनीवे सर.
नहीं, तो दिस होल थिंग इज रिकॉर्डेड इन यूट्यूब, राइट? इट विल रिमेन ऑन यूट्यूब. आप कभी भी जाइए और देख लीजिए इसे.
नहीं सर, आपका और सबसे अच्छा सर कि आपने जैसे जैसे ये हमारा सेशन आगे बढ़ा है तो आपने जो एग्जाम्पल्स बाद में लिए हैं दैट वाज अमेजिंग. आपने जिस तरह फैमिलीज को, जिस तरह बच्चों के साथ, जिस तरह स्पाउस के साथ, जिस तरह हमारा सोसाइटी के अदर मेंबर्स के साथ हमें किस तरह बिहेव करना है, तो बहुत माइन्यूटली आपने उन चीज़ों को हम सबके सामने शेयर किया, रखा. दैट इज़ अमेजिंग सर. तो मैं यही कहूँगा कि आपका जो ये लेक्चर था इट इज़ मोस्ट रेलिवेंट. और जैसा कि बहुत सारे हमारे प्रतिभागियों ने ये वर्ड यूज भी किया है और वेरी वेल एक्सप्लेन था सर. और योग पर जो आपने सबसे ज्यादा जोर दिया दैट इज मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग विच आई फाइंड वेरी गुड फॉर मी, कि योग को लेकर आपने बहुत अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन किया. आई थिंक 30 मिनट अराउंड जो फर्स्ट सेशन हमारा जो स्टार्ट हुआ था तो वो बहुत अच्छा था, एनरिचिंग था सर. तो बहुत ही अच्छा सेशन हुआ सर, आप उसके लिए बधाई के पात्र, और हम सभी को सर गौरवान्वित हैं कि आपसे इतना कुछ अच्छा सुनने को मिला। और डेफिनेटली आपने अपना इतना अमूल्य समय दिया। समय आपको लग रहा है कि ज्यादा हो गया है, बट हमें नहीं लग रहा था कि समय ज्यादा हो गया है।
नहीं नहीं, तो मुझे तो 3 घंटा कहा था, तो मैं उस पर स्टिक कर रहा हूँ। मुझे तो बोलने दो, तो बोलते चले जाए जब तक गलाने बैठ जाए।
बट सेशन वाज गुड सर,
उस
समय
पे
की
एक
थोड़ी सीमा होती है
एक
इस
उस पे
वजह
भी एक
से।
चुटकुला है।
जी जी
एक नेताजी थे, वो भाषण दे रहे थे। देते देते क्या हुआ कि उन्होंने देखा कि एक ही आदमी बैठा था
जी
ऑडियंस में, बाकी सब चले गए, एक आदमी बैठा। वो चुप हो गए। अरे ये क्या हो गया? तो आदमी ने कहा, नेताजी बोलिए बोलिए। बोलता, नहीं नहीं, बोलते क्या हुआ सब? बोलता, नेताजी अगर आपके पास घोड़ा एक हो और 20 घोड़े का खाना हो, तो क्या आप उस घोड़े को भूखा मार दोगे? उसको दोगे नहीं खाना? तो नेताजी बड़े खुश हो गए। फिर चालू हो गए अपना भाषण देने। फिर थोड़ी देर बाद आदमी हाथ उठाया,
यू गेटिंग सर?
अब क्या हो गया? तो वो कहा कि नेताजी
जी
अगर आपके पास घोड़ा हो एक और 20 घोड़ों का खाना हो, तो
जी जी।
सारा खाना एक ही घोड़े को खिला दोगे क्या? तो इसीलिए मेरे पास तो मटेरियल है, रुचि भी है, लेकिन
समझ गया
लोगों का
सर।
भी तो ध्यान रखना है
बिल्कुल
ना।
बिल्कुल
सारा
सर।
ज्ञान एक ही दिन दे देंगे तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी।
तो सर आपने अपना अमूल्य समय दिया, इसके लिए हम सभी आपके आभारी हैं, और आशा करते हैं कि भविष्य में भी आपके इस समय की अगर आवश्यकता होगी तो आप इसी प्रकार अपना समय, कीमती समय हमें देंगे। तो इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ सर आपसे विदा लेने के लिए आपकी अनुमति चाहते हैं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर सभी
एक
प्रतिभागियों
छोटा
को।
सा क्वेश्चन मैंने देखा है, जस्ट लास्ट कमेंट। somebody is asking for contact information.
डेफिनेटली
प्लीज
सर।
practicalsanskrit.com पे चले जाइए, वहां पे आपको मेरा ईमेल भी मिल जाएगा और व्हाट्सएप का लिंक है। डायरेक्टली उस लिंक को करिए तो सीधा व्हाट्सएप खुलेगा। आपको नंबर सेव करने की जरूरत, मतलब पहले जानने की जरूरत नहीं है, लेकिन उसके बाद आप सेव कर सकते हैं उस नंबर को। प्रैक्टिकल
थैंक
संस्कृत करके सेव कर लीजिएगा। तो
थैंक यू सो मच
ठीक है
सर।
सर,
थैंक यू सो
थैंक यू
मच
वेरी
सर।
मच।
अपने
जी
प्रतिभागियों से कल पुनः मिलने की आशा के साथ विदा लेता हूँ। कल समय पर
जी,
सभी लोग ज्वाइन करेंगे।
श्योर,
महोदय आपका पुनः बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आभार।
थैंक यू,
धन्यवाद सर।
धन्यवाद।